Well, Chris Myers. Well, it is the 4th of July, and we have two of baseball's best pitchers taking the mound on Baseball Night in America. On a gorgeous 80-degree afternoon in Southern California, we welcome you to Baseball Night in America from Dodger Stadium. It's the second of a three-game weekend series between the Los Angeles Dodgers and the New York Mets. Hi, everybody. Kenny Albert along with Harold Reynolds, Tom Verducci, and Ken Rosenthal. Thanks for spending part of this 4th of July with us here on Fox. Well, the Mets won the series opener last night over the Dodgers 2-1 as both teams reached the midway point. Mets a game over 500. Dodgers first place in the National League West. Tonight, a tremendous pitching matchup. I start with you, Tom, for the Dodgers. The former Cy Young Award winner, Zack Greinke. He is not allowed an earned run over his last three starts.
I've been waiting for this matchup all week. You can give me any numbers that you want, but when it comes to the art of pitching this year, nobody has been better than Zack Greinke, and especially in these last three starts where he has literally been impossible to score against. Why is he so good? Well, he stretches the strike zone like silly putty. That means every direction. His command is so good. Now, the Mets like to be patient, but last night we saw them against Kershaw be a little more aggressive. Greinke has better command than Kershaw. The Mets have to be really aggressive.
And on the other side, Harold, for the Mets, it is Matt Harvey who hopes to pick up where his teammate Noah Syndergaard left off last night.
I tell you what, Tom is excited about this. I am too. Matt Harvey has a nickname. It's called the Dark Knight. You got to have a great nickname if you're a great pitcher. The thing about this guy was the Tommy John injury coming into the year. How would he respond? Well, to me, he's 7-5 right now, but he's healthy. The stuff is there. It's electric. 99 and third innings, 96 strikeouts. But you're going to see him hit 99, 98 on the gun. He's got the breaking ball back again. We're in for a great pitching treat tonight. Maybe there'll be some offense along the way.
Well,
maybe.
We'll see. A 2-1 final last night. Mets haven't scored many runs as of late. Matt Harvey and Zack Greinke. Mets trying to find some offense to support their staff. First place Dodgers look to keep the momentum going on the 4th of July. Baseball Night in America. Next. The 31-year-old right-hander Zach Greinke takes the mound here at Dodger Stadium for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Record of 6-2 this season, coming off a win over the Marlins in his last start on Sunday. Has not received much run support from his teammates, but leads all of baseball with an earned run average of 1.58.
Pristine mechanics. Fastball velocity decreasing in recent years, but the changeup increasing in velocity. One of the best power changeups in all of baseball. The guy on the other side has a good one too, Matt Harvey.
He might be hurt, gentlemen. Maybe stretching a little bit.
Yep, stretching behind the mound is Zach Greinke. Look at the Mets batting order. Terry Collins Club at 41 and 40. Curtis Granderson will lead off, followed by Daniel Murphy. Lucas Duda bats third. Wilmer Flores in the cleanup spot. Then Darryl Siciliani. Ruben Tejada will hit sixth. Bottom of the order, Kevin Plawecki. Matt Harvey hits eighth, and then Juan Lagares.
Zach was a little ginger after those warm-up tosses. Did a little extra stretching, so we got to keep an eye on him. But I love his precision and execution. He set the glove there. He's going to hit it.
Curtis Granderson leading off for the Mets. Career 178 average against Zach Greinke. Faced him for many years in the American League. Bounce foul off to the right side. 1-1.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the Mets try to attack him. You know, he's going to be around the plate. Problem is, you don't want to, he can put you away with 4 different pitches. So you want to hit him early. You get that fastball. You saw Granderson. He may have missed his best pitch to hit in the at-bat right there, pulling it foul.
This is paint right here. A rookie umpire behind the plate as well that Zach Greinke will try to take advantage of.
Ryan Blakeney behind the plate as Granderson comes through with a loop single into left center. So the leadoff man is on for the Mets here in the first. We check out the Dodgers in the field. The 4-time Gold Glove Award winner Adrian Gonzalez, joined around the infield by Kendrick, Rollins, and Callaspo. From left to right in the outfield, Ethier, Peterson, and Puig. The battery of Greinke and Grandal. So with Granderson on at first, Daniel Murphy steps in. Murphy 0 for 4 in last night's game as the Mets managed to score a run in 7 innings against Clayton Kershaw, and then won it with a run of the ninth against the closer Kenley Jansen. Mets facing Kershaw and Greinke in back-to-back games as Murphy takes low and away. 1-1.
Yeah, you walk away with a W last night. You're feeling pretty good about yourselves. You know, everybody's talked about how poor the Mets offense has been, and they've been pretty bad in this one stretch they're in. But Murphy coming back is a big lift. This is one of their key bats in the lineup, particularly with David Wright out. Missing a few other cogs in that. He missed a breaking ball right there, a little upset with himself. But he's a big guy. I think you got to look to the Mets for offensive production.
Murphy just off the disabled list. Mets without Wright, as you mentioned. Travis d'Arnaud. Michael Kadire not on the lineup once again. And Mets have scored only 3 runs over their last 4 games. Shut out back-to-back games by the Cubs at home. Eked out the 2-1 victory last night.
Yeah, it's one thing when you're not scoring runs, but that 40 strikeouts looks really ugly when you're not scoring a lot of runs.
There's Noah Syndergaard, who was outstanding last night here at Dodger Stadium in his 10th career start, allowing just 1 run on 2 hits in 6 innings.
And you saw the bunt there. That was not a bluff. Callaspo, the only infielder on the left side, was playing deep. They were not honoring a bunt right there. Desperate times call for desperate measures sometimes with the New York Mets.
Yeah, and generally I say great. I'd like to see him bunt, but not here. I want to see him. You got a right-handed pitcher on the mound. You're my guy that's got to drive a ball.
I think it's an indication, just a lack of confidence. He's been in an extended slump, just trying to get anything to get him going. Swinging the bat well, it's a bad play.
Lucas Duda batting just 143 over his last 15 games. 175 since the start of June.
And sometimes you go through a little period where you got to figure it out, and that's what he's going through right now. And figuring out might be, I don't hit this day. I'll take the day and not take batting practice. Or I might change the bat weight. You know, different things that you do to maybe change your routine, try to figure out how you can get that bat through the zone a little bit better.
Granderson, short lead off first. 1 out, top of the first inning. Duda takes a called strike, 1-2.
But Tom, he's living on that outside half with these left-handed hitters.
Yeah, it's, again, pinpoint control. He wants to establish the strike zone. What that means is exactly.
Oh my!
And he'll go out probably a little farther outside with this pitch right here.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting with Granderson because Granderson was able to go out and get that pitch, and Greinke, they're going back out again, similar to what he did with Granderson. Go out there till they make it, till he calls the ball.
That's the power changeup you see there at 90 miles an hour with just terrific run on that away from Lucas Duda. That's where he wants to get you out. Start it in the zone, run it out of the zone. Going back to it.
2-2 from Greinke. Duda got a piece of it to stay alive.
It's still weird to look out on the field and see nobody at third base. Nobody hardly on the left side of the infield. It still takes some time to get used to watching all the shifts in Major League Baseball.
Well, they're there for a reason. The numbers will tell you. Lucas Duda all season, now we played half of a season, has hit 2 ground balls to the left side of the field.
And that's got to be changed if he wants to see the defense change. We watched that with Moustakas in Kansas City. Very similar, pulling every ball. This year, start shooting the ball the other way, and now they play him equal, and before you know it, the batting average is at 300.
Payoff pitch, Granderson goes, and Duda fouls it off to the left side.
Yeah, if your offense is not generating anything, you got a 3-2 count. Obviously, Curtis is running now, but I'd like to see him run earlier. This is a guy that can steal 20, 30 bases for you. He hasn't utilized that skill or that gift, and when your offense isn't scoring, you got to try to do some things that generate. Now he's getting a bigger lead. You can see it. He's basically telling you, I'm running, so they throw over. But part of stealing bases is being consistent in your league and not being able to tip them off, so to speak. But I'd like to see him get back to his running game. I think it'd help the club.
Only 5 steals in 7 opportunities so far this season for Curtis Granderson. Granderson on the move. Duda pops it up. Foul territory. Grandal makes the catch for out number 2.
Well, again, Tommy went right back outside, and if you're not going to be able to make the adjustment, he's going to continue to pinpoint pitches. That's what Zach Greinke does as good as anybody.
Well, it's a 3-2 changeup. And for Zach Greinke, a 3-2 changeup, that's the equivalent for most people of a 3-2 fastball. That's the kind of command he has with that power change.
So with 2 away, here's Wilmer Flores batting in the cleanup spot for the 4th time this season. He had 3 hits in last night's game, following a 4-for-30 stretch, and Flores takes a called strike, 0-1.
Well, I thought it was interesting they moved him to second base. You know, he plays short most of the season. If he's your shortstop of the future, you don't move him to second. So that was a big sign to me that he's not going to be that guy. Maybe they're looking at him at second base.
I know some questions about the range defensively, and you talk about this Mets lineup. I'm going to call it a New York Bagel lineup today because there's nothing in the middle. Flores making his 4th career start in 4 holes. Siciliano 3rd start, and Tejada 5th start in the 6th hole. Those are not middle of the order hitters. They are today.
A New York Bagel.
You know the hole in the middle? You got that one?
I got it. Starting early.
Everything bagel? Is that your favorite?
Yeah, I like that. I think this kid's going to hit, though. I mean, one of the reasons they had him in the big leagues was his offense. And again, to your point, Tom, he probably doesn't profile as a guy right here in the middle of the order. But when this lineup finally does get to where you feel like it's a championship type of lineup, you're going to see him hitting either lower or maybe even 2 or in that range and getting a little bit more to hit and not worrying about maybe having to have some power. But I think as he grows and develops, he'll be a guy that hits 5th or 6th in the lineup. I think he can drive in runs. He's going to have some power, but just not right yet.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, he's got a definite haul down and away in his swing. If you leave it inside, he will crush it. He's got that kind of power, but only on one side of the plate. That's the spot. That's where Zenke wants to go anyway, but especially on Flores. Has 1 hit on balls down and away all year. I'm talking about in the zone. That was out of the zone.
Second full count of the inning. Granderson on the move, and Flores fouls it back to the screen.
Good looking swing right there. Challenged him. You know, that's one of the reasons Greinke is so successful, too, is he uses his ballpark to his advantage. If you're going to hit home run, you're going to beat me the other way. And you'll see him. We watched it with the left-handers early. Watch it with the pitch you were just talking about, Tom. He's going to make Flores and these guys beat him the other way. That ball right there, Flores missed his pitch. That was a ball he should have driven. It was in or half. He fouled it back, a fastball, missed it.
22nd pitch of the inning from Greinke. It's a fair ball, backhanded by Cayaspo. Safe at first is Flores, so the Mets now with 2 on for Darryl Siciliani.
Well, that pitch really surprised me. A nice play here. Just not nearly enough time to get Flores. Gets out of the box well from the right side. But again, you want this ball away. Watch it run back over into his happy zone. That's a missed location. A guy normally with fantastic command who likes to put right-handers away, down and away. Not that time.
And not to overlook that play. Saved a run right there. You're looking at 3-2 count. Granderson's running on the play. That gets down the corner. That's a run. It's 1-0 Mets. So that's a great defensive play with 2 outs.
Second hit here in the top of the first inning for the Mets as Siciliani steps in. Mets 4th-round draft pick back in 2009. Swings at the first pitch. Gonzalez with the flip to Greinke, so the Mets strand 2 in the top of the first inning as Matt Harvey gets set to take the mound for New York. (45-36). First place in the NL West. Josh Peterson leads off, followed by Howie Kendrick. Adrian Gonzalez bats 3rd. Grandal 4th, then Puig. Andre Ethier hits 6th. Bottom of the order, Cayaspo, Rollins, and Greinke as the Dodgers get set to face the 26-year-old right-hander Matt Harvey, making his 16th start in his return from Tommy John surgery.
Well, if you like power, this is your man right here. Averages about 97 on the fastball, right back to where he was pre-surgery. But even the changeup, the curveball, the slider, all throws extremely hard for those type pitches. Fun to watch.
Defensively for the Mets, around the infield, Duda, Flores, Tejada, and Murphy. Siciliani, Lagares, and Granderson from left to right of the outfield. The battery of Harvey and Plawecki. Harvey's third career start against the Dodgers, his second here in Los Angeles.
And one of the bright young stars in the game, say stars because this is a true rookie right here. And Jock Peterson, you talk about some thunder in his bat. 20 home runs. But if you watch him take batting practice, he'll put on a show. Left center, right center, dead center. He can hit it.
The 8th rookie, Harold, in Major League history to hit 20 home runs by the 4th of July. Also leads the National League in strikeouts with 96, now 2-2.
And that's the adjustment of Matt Harvey right there. Watch this changeup right here. Peterson's looking for a nice fastball, and then the bottom drops out of it. That's why you get that swing. But at the 2-0 pitch, then that right there, nasty.
Peterson facing Harvey for the first time. Gets the bat on it. Left center. Lagares one away.
You saw one difference between Greinke and Harvey. Greinke wants you to get you out down and away. Harvey, go upstairs with the heater.
And that's the difference with when you got 97 in your back pocket compared to 91 or 92.
It's the first ever matchup of Greinke and Harvey. Strike one to Howie Kendrick, who was 0 for 4 last night. That ended a 7-game hitting streak.
See that pitch right there. That's how you can tell a guy has easy motion. The ball just jumps on you. Kendrick was looking to drive this ball, get something in, and watch it just jump on him. Ran back on him hard. No time to react.
Like Greinke, Harvey with a pretty impressive streak of his own. He's allowed only 1 earned run over his last 19 and 2/3 innings. Catches the outside corner, now 2-2 on Kendrick. Duda will take it to the bag himself for out number 2.
First baseman, number 23, Adrian Gonzalez.
So a 2-away, Adrian Gonzalez, who accounted for the only Dodgers run last night with a second inning solo homer off Noah Syndergaard.
Wow, these two, Harvey looking sharp right now.
And that was a solo home run last night. 10 of his 14 home runs, nobody on base.
Dodgers lead the National League with 103 home runs. They're 4th in baseball behind only the Astros, Yankees, and Blue Jays.
And the reason for the solo home runs, he's a different hitter with nobody on base. He's swinging here for a minimum of a double. Adrian knows if he gets a single with 2 outs, he's going to take 2 hits to score him. His idea is, I have to put myself in scoring position with bases empty. You put a runner on second base, becomes a different hitter. Much more of a contact hitter using the whole field, takes the singles. As smart as there is in the game.
And he is second in the league in doubles this season, the 0-2. Popped up, foul territory. Plawecki over, not have enough room.
Great effort. But, Tom, that's a great point you make. I mean, with 2 outs, you're trying to get to second base, get in the scoring position. He's fighting the sun, everything on this. Nice effort to go back and get it. But you're absolutely right. Gonzalez is thinking gapper. That's when you take a gamble with the ball in the gap. You challenge maybe to see if they're going to throw you out at second. So he's probably not going to be a guy that steals second base. If you can run, you take the single, you steal the bag, but you want to run early. So you're trying to get to second to get in the scoring position. Great point, Tom.
Harvey missing inside, now 1-2. Gonzalez down on strikes, a 15 pitch, 1-2-3, bottom of the first for Matt Harvey. This telecast is sponsored by Budweiser. Make a plan to make it home. Beautiful 4th of July, late afternoon in Southern California. As we move to the second inning, Ruben Tejada leads off for the Mets against Zach Greinke. Mets with 2 base hits in the first inning, could not score. Tejada 2 for 4 in last night's game, ended an 0 for 20 stretch. There's David Wright, who has been rehabbing here in Southern California. Joined the Mets yesterday. He's their captain. And when we spoke with manager Terry Collins a couple of hours ago, he said when David Wright entered the clubhouse yesterday and his teammates haven't seen him in a while, it was a completely different atmosphere than it has been with David not around the ball club.
Yeah, just elevated the place. You know, he's a big leaguer. We're talking about a lot of young players on this club and a lot of guys that have not played in New York before. To see David Wright walk in, there's still that awe factor, but there's also that he's the captain and the leader of this team, and it just lifted everybody's spirits, and you could see it. Got a chance to spend a little time in the clubhouse. Guys were attracted to him, hanging out around him, just gravitating to him. That's important.
Oh, and he really does look like Captain America in that star-spangled uniform today. Got that nickname as captain of the WBC team. You're absolutely right. I think it's a shame for the Mets that he has to do all of his rehab work right here in Los Angeles, so he will not be moving around with the team. But that word intangibles, yeah, that matters when you're talking about the leadership of David Wright.
I think it's a big sign, too, that he's around the club.
Tejada down on strikes. First strikeout for Zach Greinke. Terry Collins telling us when David Wright walks in to the clubhouse, heads turn as we take one more look. He said David is the face of the organization. He is our star player. He adds personality to the clubhouse. Guys are laughing and talking louder than they have been. And when asked about the timetable, Terry Collins said He expects David Wright to be here in Southern California rehabbing for at least 2 to 3 more weeks. First pitch to Plawecki, and he sends it into the gap in right center. It rolls to the wall. So Kevin Plawecki, the Mets catcher, in at second with a stand-up double.
Love the approach. This is what I talked about. The Mets concede first pitch strikes more than any team in the league.
Number 33,
First pitch fastball. This is what the Mets need to do. Go hunting fastballs early in the count. Give Plawecki credit. Got the pitch, great approach, better execution.
Tell you what, he blistered that ball too, because Jock Peterson had a great jump, and he took about 4 or 5 steps and realized he wasn't going to cut it off. That's because that ball was shot right in the gap. You get a ball between Puig and Peterson, you have to hit a frozen rope like he did right there. You hit anything with a little lift on it, they're going to run it down.
So with the runner in scoring position, here's Matt Harvey batting in the number 8 spot for the second time this season.
What's the jump Jock Peterson gets here? He's on it, and then he realizes, I'm not going to cut this ball off. Then it goes to the wall. You know, at that point, it's going to be a double. Hey, while Matt Harvey's up here, you're probably going, why is he not bunting? This is how bad their offense has been. They're taking shots with their pitcher to maybe drive a run in.
Well, I mean, he can handle it bad, but I think you do it anyway. I mean, you already have 1 out. You're really not gaining anything by moving the runner to third in a 2-out situation.
Yeah, you see it a lot, though. National League teams bunt their pitcher even in this situation, which is shocking to me, but they do it.
Harvey 3 hits and 30 at-bats this season. On a Mets squad that has now scored 3 runs over their last 39 innings, with Juan Lagares waiting on deck. Mets as a team last in the National League in hitting with an average of .231. A look by position. Pitchers relatively, compared to the other positions, hitting very well. Second in the National League in batting average.
The Mets bench players, guys who come off the bench during the game, actually have fewer hits, RBIs, and a lower batting average than the Mets pitchers.
Wow.
That should not happen.
Harvey down on strikes. Strikeout number 2 for Greinke. Of course, Steven Matz helping the cause on Sunday in his first major league start with 3 base hits and 4 runs batted in. And Matz will take the mound here in Los Angeles tomorrow.
Fielder, number 12, Juan Lagares.
I love watching Greinke pitch, and I like hearing him pitch. You can hear him up here grunting. He's Victoria Azarenka of pitchers. He actually said when he first came up, he was afraid to throw as hard as he could because he thought he would hurt himself. Those days are over.
First pitch to Lagares, missing away for ball 1. Lagares just 3 hits in his last 38 at-bats. A 1-out double by Plawecki. He takes his lead off second. High and tight, ball 2.
And they've all just went cold at the same time. But the crazy thing, we've been talking about how bad the Mets offense is. They're still hanging in the race. You know, they're still hanging around the standings. You would think that as poor as the offense has been for 2 or 3 weeks, they'd be out of it, dead and gone. They're still hanging around.
Only 4 out of the division as Lagares flies out to Peterson in center. Middle of the second here in Los Angeles. No score. broadcast is sponsored by T-Mobile. Switch to the Data Strong Network. Today's game brought to you by Chevrolet, the official vehicle of Major League Baseball. Back in Los Angeles, Matt Harvey retired the Dodgers in order in the first inning. No score. Bottom of the second, as Yasmani Grandal leads off for the Dodgers. 0 for 2 with a walk last night, adding in the cleanup spot for the third time this season. Grandal, Puig, and Ethier. 4, 5, and 6 hitters for the Dodgers here in the second.
Shoot, San Diego Padres are sitting there going, what? 267, 12, and 31? What happened? He's had a heck of a first half swinging the bat. A lot of home runs coming from the left side of the plate, which he's on now. Switch hitting catcher. Swinging the bat like this, that's a nice addition to the Dodger lineup.
Came over in the Matt Kemp trade. Led the Padres last year with a grand total of 15 home runs. Already has 12, as Harold mentioned. Harvey falls behind on the count, 3-1.
Look at those numbers right there. No home runs from the right-hand side. And no RBIs.
In 26 at-bats. Dodgers have their first base runner. A leadoff walk issued by Harvey. As Yasiel Puig steps to the plate, and for more on Puig, downstairs to Ken Rosenthal. Ken.
Kenny, a new book by Molly Knight, The Best Team Money Can Buy, details some of the difficulties that Puig has had in the past with his teammates. Difficulties that, if you talk to some of the Dodgers players, have not diminished over time. Puig can be loud, he can be moody, a bit of a nuisance, but the Dodgers front office does not view him as a detriment to winning. The real question, guys, is can he maximize his talent as a player?
Well, Ken, there's a lightning every time he comes up to the plate. We've been here a couple of years now. He electrifies this crowd. He is a draw. And if he's able to continue to play like he's played the last few years, you're looking at a star player. I know he's going to make mistakes. He's still making some. But, man, he's an attraction. He's a gate attraction that other clubs do not have. And even the Dodgers.
He rips this one down the left field line into the corner. Grandal will hold at third. Puig is in at second with the Dodgers' first hit of the game.
The talent is off the charts. I love Yasiel Puig. I'm a big Puig fan. I'm watching him continue to grow. Now they got him in the middle of the order. He turns on a fastball right here. He started off the season injured. I don't know. I think sometimes things get blown out when you talk about media reports and everything else. And I still think there's a lot of growth in this guy. I'm not giving up on him yet.
Saw Harvey miss on the 3-1 pitch to Grandal. That's a miss right there. That pitch designed to be off the plate in, on the plate in, and a great job by Puig being ready for that, turning on it.
Second and third with nobody out. Ethier at the plate.
That's a pitch Andre Ethier looking for again. A lot of things on that play. You're going to get a ball inside. He's looking to pull, maybe move Puig over and score the run. The infield's back. They're giving you a run. They're conceding the run right here.
Yeah, this is where Harvey has to go into strikeout mode. He doesn't want to concede anything. With one out, the infield will come in. Nobody out guarding the big inning, it will stay back. Harvey needs to get the punch out.
I'm sorry, Tom. I'd be tempted to bring him in now. Your offense isn't scoring. You're going to allow him to have a ground ball, pick up a run, and that might be all they need all day to shut you down.
I just think with no out, standard procedure, too big of an inning in play. With one out, bring them in. Right now, you're relying on Harvey's ability to get a punch out.
Again, we disagree.
It's good.
That's twice in 2 innings. A 1-1 from Harvey. Held off to the left side, now 1-2.
And you're absolutely right. I mean, right here, he's thinking strikeout. You got to be yelling, we need a K right here. This is what you got to be thinking about in this situation. The last thing you want to do is put the ball in play with your defense position like it is.
Second and third, nobody out. The 1-2 from Harvey. Missing inside, 2-2.
Just missed. Ball came back, but didn't come back in time. It's a tough pitch to hit. That's 97 miles an hour. It's coming at you and breaking back. He's got a little bloody nose, huh? He can wipe it. That's legal.
There he goes.
He probably just now realized.
Payoff pitch to Ethier. Ball 4, says the third base umpire Dan Bellino. So the Dodgers have loaded the bases with nobody out. Dan Worthen, Mets pitching coach, out for a visit as we check in for a game break with Chris Myers. Chris.
Third baseman number 5, Alberto Callaspo.
All right, thanks very much, Chris. Dodgers have loaded the bases here in the second inning on a Puig double and a pair of walks issued by Matt Harvey.
You know, once you see Matt Harvey with the bloody nose, I would bring the trainer with me right there. You get a free visit. You know what I'm saying? Come out, you know, obviously you're probably not looking to take him out of the game with the 2 visits this early in the game, but you save one. I take the trainer out, clean his nose up, you get your conversation in, you go back.
And that was a one-sided conversation. Matt just said no problem. The rest was Dan Worthen speaking.
Callaspo, first pitch. What a play by Duda. The throw home to get Grandal for the first out of the inning.
And they just brought the infielder, brought him in, a double play in the middle. And this is what I was talking about. You save a run right here. It's too easy to break this inning open right now. That's a nice play. I know they were looking for double plays all the way around. The middle infield was back, and they're in on the corners. But you cut a run down. Now you're a double play ball from being out of the inning. It's a heck of a play by Duda. And he threw the ball knowing he had to get back to first. Watch him release this ball, and as he's throwing it, he's going to first base. That's a great play.
Batters are now 1 for 15 against Harvey in his career with the bases loaded. Mets will concede the run. Dodgers lead 1-0.
Well, you might think that was luck by Jimmy Rollins, but that's a design. As a guy that can run, you want to pull that ball. If you can pull the ball, watch Puig get the jump, the bases are loaded, he's going to run. But if you can pull that ball, force that second baseman to have to go to his left or the first baseman go to his right, you're going to pick up the run.
He might have had a play at the plate. Duda really didn't give a long look. This is a broken bat by Jimmy Rollins. And Duda looks like he's committed to the bag at first. I think he's reading the ball off the bat because it was a broken bat. The ball doesn't get to him quite as quickly. Made a decision early to play it conservatively and take the shore out.
Maybe he's like, I made one throw already. I was on with that one. I don't know about the next one.
So now second and third, 2 outs. Greinke at the plate. 5 hits and 33 at-bats this season. 2 years ago, Greinke won the Silver Slugger Award as the top hitter at his position.
He can hit. These pitchers have been swinging the bat a lot better the last few years. This is a big out. This breaks the inning open if he gets a base hit here. You manage it, you get out of here with 1 run. That's not a bad half inning. Silver Slugger.
Two. Now 1 ball, 2 strikes.
It's almost like the pitchers have hitting contests. If you have one team that's pretty good hitters, you got a few others that are pretty good pitchers, I mean, that are good hitters on that staff. You ever notice that, Tom?
It is contagious, right? As they say, hitting is contagious.
Greinke strikes out, so a bloody nose for Harvey, a run for the Dodgers. And when we return, we will chat live with the reigning National League Most Valuable Player, Clayton Kershaw. Curtis Granderson leads off for the New York Mets here in the top of the third inning against Zach Greinke. With the Dodgers leading 1-0, Granderson singled to lead off the game. Will be followed by Murphy and Duda. As we welcome in live from the Dodgers dugout, the reigning National League MVP and Cy Young Award winner, Clayton Kershaw. Clayton, thanks for joining us. You started last night's game. Today you get to sit back and watch Harvey and Greinke. What's your analysis over the first two innings?
Yeah, fun to watch. You know, both these guys are obviously on top of their games. There you go. It's easy out. But, yeah, too many pitches right now for both guys, so hopefully, you know, Greinke can settle in and, you know, get deep into the game with a lower pitch count.
Hey, Clayton, it's Harold here. What's that feel like the day after the game? What do you do?
Well, other than getting seeds thrown at me right now, it's a good feeling when you win and not so good when you lose. So it's you know, that's the beauty about being a starting pitcher. You know, you got 4 days to enjoy it or 4 days to think about it. So that's the tough part. I think I got one in my jersey right there. That was impressive.
What about the body? The legs sore or the arms sore?
You know, nothing's really I'm not like sore, but just tired. You know, I don't feel like I want to pitch today, that's for sure.
They're gonna wear you out.
Yeah, I'm trying to focus right now. I'm doing the best I can.
You might be a little safer out on the mound, Clayton.
I know. It's like it's every interview they do in the dugout. They do this, right? I mean, our team should be a little more mature than this, I think.
No, I got to get you a batting helmet. Yeah, you talked about wins, and obviously you've had a lot of games like the one last night where you didn't come away with a win. Tell me about the way you think you've thrown the ball this year, because I look at your stuff and see you have the highest swing and miss rate of your career, but yet won and lost. You would not really think it was a typical Clayton Kershaw year.
I don't know. I mean, I don't really think about it. I don't put too much stock into it. Just try and move on to the next start every time. You know, after the season's kind of when I look in and see what I could have done better. You know, it does seem like I'm giving up a few more runs here and there, and you know, not really getting out of jams that I used to last year at times. So there's definitely a lot of things that I can work on for the second half. But, you know, I think I've thrown the ball better the last few starts out. And, you know, I feel good physically, so that's good.
Hey, Clayton, you said something that stood out to me. You said both pitchers will maybe have too many pitches right now. What indicates that for you, and how do you adjust that if you're on the mound?
Yeah, for me, you try to stay at that 15 pitch an inning thing. That'll at least get you through 7, and then try to fit a 10 or 12 pitch inning in there to get through 8. That's what we're going with. It's a catch right there. But yeah, so just early, Zach was going deep into counts, and you give the Mets credit; they were laying off some good pitches, fouling off, going deep into counts, and then last inning we did the same thing to Harvey. So, Zach's at 44 right now, and you typically like to be at 45 after the third. So, Zach's got a little work to do to get to 7.
Now 2-2 on Murphy. Clayton, Noah Syndergaard said after the game last night, it was an honor to share the mound with you, and you guys grew up about 40 miles apart in the Dallas area. He's 5 years younger, but your thoughts on what you saw from Syndergaard last night?
Yeah, really impressive. Just another Texas high school kid throwing the ball well. That's what we do. But, yeah, really impressive. You always hear about these super prospects come up, and, you have a good idea that they're going to throw hard and have a good breaking ball. But tell you what, his command was really impressive last night, moving the ball in and out, keeping our guys off balance. And his breaking ball, was really impressive for me too. Throwing it for strikes, throwing it behind counts, things like that you look for that I couldn't do when I first came up. So really impressive.
Hey, speaking of command, what impresses you most about Zach in this run that he's been on last 3-4 starts?
It's really the whole season. Zach's just he's on a different level this year. He's been good the first 2 years he's been over here, but to watch him this year, it's basically he has 3 dominant pitches that he can throw at anywhere, anytime for strikes. Fastball, slider, changeup, and even mixes a curveball in there sometimes. So it's just, as a hitter, I don't know what you look for. I don't know how you try and do it.
Hey, Clayton, I got to ask you here. I know we got 2 outs. Hopefully we can get this in, but your charity work is off the charts. Can you tell us a little bit about what's going on and how you've been continually doing your great work?
Yeah, we just have Kershaw's Challenge. That's what we call it, and give to some local charities here in LA as well in Dallas. But kind of the heartbeat of it all is over in Africa. We got a home over there that we started and got 12 kids living in there, and then just finishing up one actually hopefully by the end of the season and have another home over there. And it's going great. We got a ping pong tournament July 30th here at the Dodger Stadium on an off day, and try to raise some money doing that, so it'll be a lot of fun.
You got tables set up all over the field?
Yeah, last year was great. We had it right over all the infield dirt. It was a doubles tournament. Me and Chris Paul, the Clippers, played, and we got knocked out in the first round, but it was a fun time. That was an easy inning. There you go.
Duda flies out to left. Clayton, congratulations on all of your success, both on and off the field. Thanks for joining us.
All right, thanks, guys.
Middle of the third in Los Angeles. Kershaw showing his athleticism. He's got it. Dodgers loaded the bases against Matt Harvey in the second inning, scored a run. Top of the order, Jock Peterson leads off, fly to center. His first time up, and he takes ball one.
Well, you love the challenge if you're Jock Peterson, because Matt's reaching back saying, here it is, hit it, big boy, and he's looking to drive this ball as far as he can hit a ball. Power versus power, Tom. I love it.
Yeah, I thought he was super sharp, Matt Harvey, in that first inning. Last two innings, you hear he's behind 2-0, maybe not so much. As far as that bloody nose, that's something that's pretty common for Matt Harvey. He had a lot of bloody noses as a kid. Actually, in 2013, he had a game, came out with a bloody nose in the first inning. 9 shutout innings, 12 punch-outs.
Now, if you're Jock Peterson, you've seen a fastball, you watch a 2-0 changeup, you watch another one in the head in the count, you got to believe he's going to challenge you with the heater here.
Leadoff man out for the Dodgers once again here in the third. Time now for Pepsi's most thrilling historical moments of the game. And Harold, you were talking about long home runs, and Jock Peterson has done it on a number of occasions this season for the Dodgers.
He's got so much thunder, and I think he's bigger than he profiles on TV when you see him in person. He's got broad shoulders. He's still going to grow into this body too, but the pop is second to none. I mean, he's got as much thunder in his bat as anybody in the league. I think Matt Harvey's nibbling with the off-speed pitches a little bit more than...
Yeah, that's a word not normally associated with Matt Harvey. I just think he can't find consistency. It's very strange to see. Matt Harvey came into this game, had not walked a leadoff batter in any inning this year. Walked a leadoff batter in each of the last 2 innings.
And his 3 walks in the game are a season high. He had not walked more than 2 in any of his prior 15 starts.
But I tell you, Tom and Ken, when a pitcher's not getting runs, no run support, this club has not been scoring, all of a sudden you give up 1 run, you start pitching like, I can't give up anything else. You can't relax and play your game. You're trying to really prevent or feel like I have to execute every pitch. And that's a tough way to pitch ball games. You can't make a mistake. If I make a mistake, game's over. It's tough.
Harvey falls behind 3-1 to Kendrick.
He's got the blood flowing out of his nose. It's like Worthing saying, where are those balls at?
43 pitches, 22 strikes, 21 balls to this point. Right back to the box. Up the middle, a base hit for Kendrick. Peterson will hold after Lagares had some trouble scooping it up. So first and second with nobody out. Time for a game break. Once again to Chris Myers.
Gonzalez.
Well, the Mets certainly know what the Cubs can do. Cubs swept the Mets at Citi Field this past week.
Well, there's some good rookies in this year's class. I mean, you start looking at Franco in Philadelphia. He's jumped his name in there for me as well. Some of the top young talent we've seen come up. At the end of the day, who's going to be the rookie year, I don't know. But there is a lot of young talent in the rookie category this year.
Adrian Gonzalez struck out his first time up. Of course, the Mets have last year's National League Rookie of the Year, Jacob deGrom, who has won 8 games so far this season for the Mets.
Yeah, he's been throwing the ball terrific all season long. See Adrian Gonzalez, sometimes when he's going to check that bat and take it back, you get those little hairline fractures that barely seem like the bat's cracked. And when you have these grips, this is why a lot of times major league players don't use grips on their bat, because now it's a little it makes the wood so tight that a ball like that he fouled off it, you get these little hairline cracks sometimes.
Might have got caught a piece of Milwaukee right here. Off the barrel. Yep.
They got the chest protector on it, hitting right above the heart. Position I'd never use. I'd never be. That guy back there, no way.
You ever played as a kid?
I did as a kid a little bit. You remember those big chest protectors used to go all the way like down to your ankles?
Yep.
It's the only thing I would wear back there with that, for sure.
Gonzalez tries this one. The deep left center on the warning track. Lagares makes the catch. Peterson to third, so the Dodgers have runners on the corners with one out.
That sounded loud off the bat, didn't it?
Yeah, that's a great job by Gonzalez here. Hit this ball deep enough in a 2-strike count against Matt Harvey to move the runner over to third base.
Looked like that ball was going to carry a little bit more. You know, it's funny. I was talking to Mattingly. Nice read by Peterson here. This is obviously an outfielder knowing how the ball's carrying tonight. I might have taken off and ran on that. But I was talking to Mattingly about the ball. Kenny, how much is jumping in this ballpark? Dodgers are seeing more home runs. You talked about they're leading the league in homers in this park. And he said that there hasn't been as much mist in the air as it was early, as it usually is. So the ball's been jumping. He said it was interesting. He said on the rail, you could usually feel the mist on the rail at night. And he said it was dry most of the year. And I know they've had a little bit of a drought out here in California. But that's one of the reasons he thinks the ball's really carrying in this ballpark.
Less mist, says meteorologist Mattingly.
Yes.
The 0-1 to Grandal. Harvey missing low and inside. First and third, one out. Dodgers loaded the bases in the second and scored a run. Peterson at third. Kendrick over at first.
And this is pitching right here. He's got a chance to get a double play ball and get out of this inning.
1-2.
And Grandal has seen a lot of fastballs today from Harvey. A lot of these same results, swinging through it. Hasn't been able to time the Harvey fastball.
Yasiel Puig waiting on deck.
I tell you, the game has changed so much where we sit back and play looking for that big home run. You got a guy like Howie Kendrick on first, Peterson on third. I mean, they're giving you a stolen base. They're not going to throw in case he comes running down. The third base was not close enough. You can steal home on a double steal. The game's changed so much that that's not even in the mindset anymore. It's basically the guy at the plate has to deliver. There's a lot of ways to score runs and put pressure on defense. If Kendrick were to steal the bag, now you draw the infield in. It changes the whole half inning.
By the way, Kendrick stole a base last night. It was the Dodgers' first steal in 24 games.
My goodness. Maury Wills is probably scratching his head. What in the world?
And that 23-game stretch, the longest in franchise history without a stolen base. 23 games.
Well, they shouldn't run. They've been thrown out more times than they've been successful. When that happens, do away with the steal sign. You should be stealing about 72% to make it worthwhile. Well below 50%.
That's right, only 15 steals. They've been caught 21 times.
You got to work on it. It's a big weapon. You know, it's a lot easier to steal a bag than it is to hit a home run. This is.
How about that? Ripping the cover off the ball. Cued that right off the end of the bat. Toward the leather.
The natural.
Huh.
Well, he's wearing Roy Hobbs' number. I mean, shoot.
Very nice. And Harvey wins the battle.
And watch this late action on the slide. Actually, a changeup. That's the power change right there from Matt Harvey. Good action right there.
So now 2 away. Here's Puig, who doubled down the left field line his first time up. And Puig is now 3 for 4 lifetime against Harvey.
I tell you, I say it every time. This guy is a star. There's a star quality about him. You can't take your eye off him. It's magnetic. The talent is off the charts.
This is one area where he still needs to show some growth. Again, young player, 1 for 17 with 2 outs. The entire season, only 5 hits with runners in scoring position. Why? He doesn't want to pass the baton. He wants to get the hit. You saw him chase right there. Harvey's going to try to get him outside of the strike zone. He'll learn to slow the game down, be a little more patient.
We spoke about Puig with Don Mattingly. He said he's still learning. It takes time. It's an adjustment when you come over from Cuba. And Mattingly said, and we are still teaching.
Yeah. But you're right. I mean, we saw, Tom, his aggressiveness in the postseason last year play against him. You know, you want to have that warrior mentality, I'm going to get you, but there's also times when they are playing the game with you.
One from Harvey. Now 2 balls, 1 strike.
And here's the difference maker. When you're in the middle of the order, as opposed to Puig learning how to hit at the top of the order when he broke in, right? 2-1, he's more than likely getting a fastball when he's leading off. 2-1 now, he may get another breaking pitch. It's not dead set, hey, I'm going to get a fastball. And that's a difference in how you approach as a hitter.
Kendrick goes, no throw from Plawecki. And the count now 3-1 to Puig.
And he got a slider right there. Now, you think Matt Harvey doesn't know Puig's hit him pretty good? He's not going to give in. And again, you're sitting there going, all right, I'm not going to give in. Tom, they stole a bag.
Stop the presses. 2-game stolen base streak by the Dodgers.
Inching towards 50% on the season. 3-1, full count.
Slider. You're not getting that heater. That's the difference. This ball's going to run.
And off the plate again. He's shaking his head, and I would bet Harvey goes right back out there, slightly off the plate. Slider, changeup.
Payoff pitch from Harvey, who issues his 4th walk, 2nd this inning. Another visit from Mets pitching coach Dan Worthen.
Curious, the conversation right now. It's got to be about this, right?
Well, let's talk some soccer. Tomorrow, the FIFA Women's World Cup final rematch, 4 years in the making, as Alex Morgan and Team USA take on defending champion Japan to see who will be crowned a champion. Coverage begins tomorrow, 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific, only on Fox, streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
I'm pumped, man. This is going to be great. You know, this has been a terrific World Cup. And the U.S. hadn't scored a lot of goals. They scored 2 the last match, but they've played some really good soccer. The defense has been incredible.
We look forward to it. First pitch to Efield with the bases loaded. The catch is made by Plawecki to end the inning. So the Dodgers load the bases for the 2nd consecutive inning and cannot score.
Dan. I'm Captain Lori Fiorello, and I want to give a shout out to my dad and all the Fiorellos in New Jersey. Happy Independence Day, America.
We echo those greetings on this 4th of July as Wilmer Flores leads off for the Mets against Zach Greinke here in the top of the 4th inning. As you may have noticed, both clubs and all clubs around Major League Baseball wearing special caps today, and for the first time special jerseys in honor of the 4th of July. The caps have a blue or red base, feature the team's primary logo over an image of a waving American flag. The jerseys feature stars within the team's logo or lettering on the front and number on the back. All proceeds from the sale of the special caps and jerseys will be donated to Welcome Back Veterans, which provides grants to university hospitals throughout the country to treat veterans suffering from PTSD or traumatic brain injury. Major League Baseball has committed more than $30 million to Welcome Back Veterans as Flores singles to right field, 4th hit of the game for the Mets.
Nice piece of hitting. You know, Greinke's been living on the outside half, depending if you're right-handed or left-handed. And Flores took that slider and shot it to right field.
So with the leadoff man on for the Mets here in the 4th, Darryl Siciliani steps in, grounded out to the first baseman Gonzalez back in the 1st inning. Mets now only 3 runs over their last 41 innings, while Greinke's streak is now up to 23 2/3 without having allowed an earned run. That's a third of an inning shy of his career high for one season. He once went 43 innings spanning 2 seasons without allowing an earned run. That was back in 08 and 09.
Yeah, and those are American League years, if I'm not mistaken. But the one thing, the difference with the National League and American League, and the reason I say that, Kenny, is I think Greinke right now starts looking at how do I navigate through this inning. And I know you got the pitcher sitting down there in the 8-hole. And as you start looking at outs to get through and how you want to maybe look for different outs, that's, to me, that looms large with the pitcher sitting down there in the 8 spot.
And we saw that overhead shot of the ballpark. I know there's no clock in baseball, but there's an unofficial sundial in play in this game. Players talking about the middle innings starting about the 5th or 6th, where those shadows will come into play. You've got 2 premier pitchers, only will become more difficult to hit middle innings.
Double play.
Rollins steps on the bat, fires to first, safe. Here's Siciliani.
Siciliani getting down there. This will be close. I'm sure they'll look at it on the replay. This ball takes Jimmy right to the bag.
He's safe.
It's in the cylinder, that glove at first base that you look at a lot on the replay. Once it's in the cylinder, not the back of the glove, but in the cylinder. He beats this, I think. But what I mean is that ball, once it gets right into that area, you see where it hits the glove there, by then he's safe.
Yeah, as soon as it touches leather, that's what they're looking for when they do look at replays. The first touch of leather.
Alfonso Marquez, the crew chief, the first base umpire, as Greinke throws over. Ruben Tejada struck out his first time up. Dodgers lead the Mets 1-0. 1 out, top of the 4th inning in Los Angeles. Mets with only 12 road wins, second fewest in baseball. Only the Phillies have won fewer games on the road than the Mets. Mets with the second most home wins, trailing only the St. Louis Cardinals. Siciliani goes, and Tejada fouls it back to the screen. Today's telecast sponsored by Lowe's. Lowe's, never stop improving. And by Head & Shoulders with Old Spice. Smell 100% manly.
Well, there you go. Hey, looking at that hit and run right there, that situation. Again, I keep going back. You know, I understand everybody loves hitting that pitcher in the 8 spot now. And Joe Madden gave us a great explanation for the Cubs because they want Addison Russell, who's a young player, getting good pitches, hitting in the 9-hole. But let's say, for example, the Mets right here. They hit and run. Say he grounds out. And you got your runner at second base. Now you got 2 outs. You think the guy on deck's getting anything to hit, knowing Harvey's sitting in the hole behind him? It's a moot play for you at that point in time. You have to execute, and you have to end up first and third, or it didn't work for you. The purpose of the hit and run is to get somebody moving to put that runner in scoring position. And so, yeah, you might have got him there, but now Greinke's looking down there going, no problem. I want the pitcher.
Terry Collins batting his pitcher in the 8th spot for the 11th time this season. Plawecki on deck, then Harvey.
There's those shadows you're talking about, Tom.
Yeah, right now it's just the light standard shadow that's on the mound. It's not too bad now. It's when the roof of the stadium begins to creep over.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Top of the 4th inning. Siciliani, the runner on first.
Adrian's
asking the check on it.
What's the replay on that one? You know, Zach Greinke's got one of the quickest moves for a right-handed pitcher. And his move usually occurs when he's bringing his hands up, and that's where your feet are fastest. They're stalling right now so they can look and see the replay. He catches him mid-stride as he's getting his next step out. Then he comes over. Oh, he's back. Unless his hand didn't make it all the way back.
Well, Adrian thought maybe the hand came off the base for a fraction of an inch.
That's a little ticky-tacky right there.
Watch this. He's going to leave the tag on him or go back. He says, oh, I got him. Dodgers dugout says, no, you didn't.
Man, keep the game moving for that one. They should be penalized.
15 yards?
Seriously. I mean, what's the difference between Mattingly asking and those two standing around stalling? So if you want to check that, I'm taking you just lost your challenge. That's the next thing we got to go to. You can't have the players sitting there. That's like when you go out and you talk to the pitcher so you don't get a mound visit. Eventually the umpires are going, no, you're not going to the mound to talk to him.
So you want a clock on challenges.
It's ridiculous.
Left field, and the catch is made by Ethier for out number 2. And then, guys, you add in the fact that the Dodgers have won the fewest amount of challenges this season.
Nice play by Ethier. That ball just hung, and it's one of those low liners. It looked like he had to sit there, read it, and then do I gamble? Because if he misses that ball, that's a run. Yeah, nice play.
Mets will take a run any way they can get it. Plawecki takes ball 1.
I agree with you. They sure will. It's tough. Every club goes through a period where you're not scoring. But it seems like it's magnified right now in New York because everybody's screaming, get a bat. Trade deadline's around the corner. We got all this young pitching. We're right here. And they're hungry, and they should be.
It was Plawecki who's at the plate now who drove in the winning run at the top of the 9th last night on a sacrifice fly.
Well, I'll tell you a secret about the Mets offense. We know the numbers are terrible, but how about this? They have the highest hard hit ball percentage in all of baseball. They're second in line drive percentage to the Royals. It doesn't make sense. All it tells me is it's been the unluckiest team in baseball for the first half of the season.
But then again, it does, though, Tom.
Runner goes, throw down to second is not in time. Siciliani with his 5th steal of the season.
Now do you pitch the guy at the plate? It's a nice throw. Here's what I was going to say to you, Tom, though. You know why? It's interesting that you brought that up about how hard they've been hitting balls. But if you look at their offense, they play a shift on Granderson, a shift on Duda, a shift on most of their guys. So, yeah, you're going to square a ball up, but everybody's playing on one side of the field. And that's always been your point with how tough it is for left-handed hitters to get base hits.
Well, certainly for the left-handed hitters, for sure. But Kevin Long, the hitting coach, putting a lot of faith in those numbers. The exit velocity numbers, all good. Results, pretty much all bad for the Mets.
Now, this is where Greinke should be at his best. I don't think he'd give a whole lot to hit here to Polecki with the pitcher sitting on the on deck, sir.
2-1 from Greinke. Down the right field line. Long run for Puig. He makes the catch. And that will do it for the Mets in the fourth. They strand a runner on second. Trail the Dodgers 1-0. Ball, but on one night they all happen in one place. Don't miss the 86th All-Star Game. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, Tuesday, July 14th, right here on Fox. Tomorrow on ESPN, it's the Esurance All-Star Selection Show as the starters for both teams will be announced before the reserves are announced on Monday. Then on July 13th, it's the Gillette Home Run Derby presented by Head & Shoulders. It all leads up to the Midsummer Classic. Tuesday, July 14th, 7 Eastern, right here on Fox. And 2 years ago, it was Matt Harvey taking the mound in his home ballpark, Citi Field, as the starting pitcher for the National League as Callaspo grounds out to the second baseman Flores, with perennial All-Star David Wright looking on from the Mets dugout. He's played in only 8 games for the Mets this season. Has joined the team while rehabbing here in Southern California. And here's a guy who's seen a lot of the Mets over the last 15 years. During his time with the Philadelphia Phillies, he has 30 career home runs against the Mets, 62 career stolen bases. That's more than Jimmy Rollins has against any other team in baseball.
Well, and you look at his numbers right now as he comes in. He's starting to get things going, but it's been up and down. He's probably smiling, saying, yes, bring the Mets to town. Let me get
Circle him
going
on the schedule. You know, you talk about hitting in front of the pitcher as well, Harold. It's the 20th time Jimmy has now been hitting in the 8th spot. He hadn't hit 8th since 2004. And he has not done well in this spot, hitting below 200. He's been scuffling. That's why he's in the 8th hole in the first place. But that's a tough way to get yourself straight, by hitting in front of the pitcher.
On the ground to the right side again. It is Flores for out number 2. So for Matt Harvey, he retired the side in order in the first. He walked the leadoff man in both the second and the third, and in those 2 innings combined, Dodgers wound up sending 12 batters to the plate, but they would score only 1 run. They left 5 men on base over the last 2 innings.
Yeah, he's done a nice job of navigating through trouble, and I think what we're seeing with Matt Harvey is not just a thrower, he can pitch. You know, where he can look for the strikeout when he needed it, he got it. Got some ground balls when he needed them, and he got those. So that's a big key. Greinke wasn't messing around, though.
The former Silver Slugger award winner with a 2-out single to left.
There you go. You were talking about that. You were building him up. He just didn't get a hit last time.
We don't need no stinking DH in this league, right? That's what Zach Greinke's telling us.
It is fun watching a National League game with the pitcher hitting, though.
No doubt.
Just the moves, and even talking about the pitcher hitting in the 8th spot or should he at 9th or whatever, changes the game.
It's the difference between chess and checkers.
Keep looking
National
at Ken.
League, American League.
I keep looking at Ken. He's just nodding.
You like that, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, it's the 6th hit of the season for Greinke. Now you're nodding, Harold.
Yes. You're making sense over here.
Here's Peterson, walked his last time up.
There's that big swing, H.
Yeah, it was. And you know what? Again, Harvey pitching. That was a breaking ball, you know. And here's Jock saying, all right, I've had 2 at-bats. He's challenged me with a fastball first pitch every time. This time I'm getting it. I'm going to jump it. And he throws him a breaking ball.
The 0-1 from Harvey, right back to the box. 4 innings in the books, an 8-pitch force for Matt Harvey. 1-0 Dodgers. Matt Harvey leads off for the Mets here in the top of the 5th inning against Zach Greinke, Kenny Albert, Harold Reynolds, Tom Verducci, and Ken Rosenthal from Dodger Stadium on baseball night in America. Harvey sends the first pitch into right center. Catch is made by Peterson for out number 1. So after Greinke singled off Harvey, Harvey could not return the favor. Our Budweiser game summary. Yasiel Puig with a double in the 2nd inning. He would come around to score the game's first run. Driven in by Jimmy Rollins. Breaking out 25 consecutive scoreless innings, and the Dodgers 0-for-11 in the series with runners in scoring position. Here's the number 9 hitter for the Mets, Juan Lagares. Goes 25 scoreless innings for Greinke. He's got 34 to go to match the Dodgers franchise record set by Orel Hershiser back in 1988. Major League record, 59 consecutive scoreless innings.
That was incredible. I remember when Orel went on that run. You can't even conceive that in your mind. That's amazing. It's mind-boggling to think of how many guys he got out in the course of that streak. Whew. Foul ball.
Orel Hershiser now a Dodgers broadcaster.
Yes. See, he squared around so early right there that Greinke recognized this. He does a great job of recognizing it, and he threw an up and in pitch. And that's the toughest pitch for a guy to bunt. When you're going to square to drop a bunt for a hit, you can't go around that early. He squared around so early that it allowed Greinke to execute his pitch.
Strike 3 got away from Grandal. Lagares safe at first.
And a breaking ball out of the strike zone. The spin is just going to kick opposite of the spin direction. Rondell's going to get a base. Give up the base right there. He's shaking his head, but that's a very tough block.
It's a tough block. It looked like he even shut the glove, maybe a little premature. Understandably, though. All he can try to do is surround himself and knock it down.
So Lagares on first, thanks to the wild pitch. Curtis Granderson at the plate, 1 for 2. Singled back in the first inning. How good has Zach Greinke been this season? Well, in 12 of his 16 starts, he has allowed either no runs or exactly 1 run in 12 of 16 starts.
Wow. That's pretty good. And you know what? The crazy thing is he's not sharp right now. Most of this game, he's been missing his spots. I mean, he's pretty good, but when he's on, you don't move the glove.
Well, I liked what our guest analyst Clayton Kershaw said, but the high pitch count for both starting pitchers, they have both shifted gears in the last inning or two.
Pitch number 75 from Greinke is fouled off to the right side.
But that, I mean, not so much in strikeout mode as in conservation mode with pitches. As you saw Harvey with the 8-pitch inning and Greinke trying to work ahead, get ground balls, keep himself deeper into a game.
Two-one to Granderson, and he fouls it off to the left side. Now 2-2.
You know, here's another part of Granderson's game. Now I know he's got 2 strikes now, but the defense still going to stand where they were before. But they're giving him the whole left side of the infield for a bunt base hit. You're on a team that's not scoring runs. You're against Zach Greinke, and they were giving him a bunt hit. That's part of his game that's not there either. So there's little things as I watch the game the Mets can look around and maybe try to manufacture or create runs within the times where they're at in the lineup. Now he's got 2 strikes, clearly probably not bunting, but I was just pointing that out.
Lifted into right field. Puig is under it. 2 away.
You know what makes Zach Greinke so good? Well, I talked at the top about his silly putty strike zone, the way he stretches it. He wants to get you outside of the strike zone. 56, that's how many swings he misses. He gets in the zone. But the bullseye is where he wants to go. Breaking balls to right-handed hitters. When he's got a left-hander up, it's still down the way. Now it's the changeup. So his swings and misses that he gets, not in the zone, but out of the zone. As Greg Maddux put it, make the strikes look like balls, make the balls look like strikes. Nobody does it better right now than Zach Greinke. As you can see, more swings and misses down and away, outside of the zone, than in the zone. And guys, if we broke that down for Matt Harvey, you would see more swings and misses in the zone because of his power stuff.
Made me want to say auto zone.
Get in the zone. Daniel Murphy 0 for 2. Lagares the runner on first with 2 away. Murphy went around.
Changeup's a tough pitch in shadows, man. It releases at the same release point as a fastball, and when it gets to the dark area, it starts to sink on you. And that's what Murphy sees. That's what he's contending with right there. You get a lot of changeups, a lot of swing and misses with that pitch right now.
Here's an example of him working today. Down and away with the breaking ball to the right-hander. And here's the last one. Down and away, both outside of the strike zone. Breaking balls to right-handed hitters. Of course, Zach, he's one of the most cerebral pitchers I've ever been around. Knew exactly what I was talking about when I showed him those numbers. He said he's more encouraged about those 56 swings and misses in the zone. Because he said, that means my stuff is really coming around. I'd like more of those. He thinks his velocity has picked up in recent starts. Changed the grip on his slider about 4 starts ago. That's been better for him. I'm talking to Zach Greinke. That's like auditing a 400-level course in pitching. he just amazing.
You know what was amazing was draft day. He sat in the war room with the Dodgers staff during the draft. You know, we peek in on war rooms. He's sitting in there getting ready for the draft with the big fellas.
I'll do more than that. He's breaking down video for guys. He's telling me about a 6th-round pitcher they got out of Gonzaga that he likes. He's breaking down infielders. Mind always working for Zach Greinke.
Does he have a future in the front office?
Yeah, I'm sure he does. If he wants it, it's there. Question is, he'll make so much money he could buy the front office.
He'll have to take a pay cut.
Might be an ownership.
Big one.
Runner goes, pitch inside, throw down to second, is in time.
What a frozen rope. You talk about coming out of the chute. This is coming out of the chute.
The cast is sponsored by Chevrolet. Find new roads. Follow your favorite team and players all season long with MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is up to the moment, at any moment, with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com at Bat now. Howie Kendrick leads off for the Dodgers. Bottom of the 5th inning against Matt Harvey. Swings at the first pitch. Charging is Murphy. Throw to first is handled by Duda. 1 pitch, 1 away.
It's a nice play right there. If David Wright was not on this club, I think we'd have seen Murphy play there years ago at third base. He's been trying to figure out where to go. They've had him at second. Even made an all-star team at second base, but I really think he profiles at third. That's a nice play right there.
And a nice pick by Duda. Love the way he has his hand work through the baseball on the short hop.
And Harold, Terry Collins agrees with you. The Mets manager alluded to that earlier this week. He said if David Wright were not on this team, Daniel Murphy would be our third baseman.
Yeah. I didn't hear that, but that's good to hear.
Adrian Gonzalez 0 for 2. Terry Collins, who spent over 2 decades with the Dodgers organization, played in their minor league system for 7 years. He was a manager in the Dodgers system for many years. Also worked in the LA front office back in the early 2000s. Gonzalez crushes this one. Deep right field. His second home run of the series.
Well,
15th of the season for Gonzalez. Dodgers lead 2-0.
Well, you talk about adjustments, and he clearly got a pitch he was liking. Very similar to a situation with 2 outs. He's looking to drive the ball in the gap. Got him a pitch right there, didn't miss it.
Base is empty, Adrian. That's the version we got right there. 11 solo homers out of those 15. Change up, left up. Same pitch he hit for a home run last night off Syndergaard.
So he takes Syndergaard and Harvey deep. Back-to-back nights here in Los Angeles. 13th home run allowed by Matt Harvey in 16 starts.
That's almost like doing him a favor, throwing him a changeup. When you throw as hard as Syndergaard and Harvey do, and you hang a changeup, you're doing the hitter a favor.
Base hit up the middle off the bat of Grandal.
Well, here's a good look stat cast on the home run. It's going to tell you a lot of things. The exit velocity 104.5. That's really good. I also like the maximum height, how long he had hang time on it. Harvey knew immediately that he made a mistake. You get the hang time a lot of times on an off-speed pitch because that means the guy's getting that bat head out, and then you get a little bit of an arc to carry it through and you get that lift.
So the Dodgers now with 104 home runs. They lead the National League. 6 Dodgers in double figures. Puig has reached base twice, doubled in the second, walked in the third.
There is that pitch again. I think he sees this in his sleep and his nightmares. Slider out of the strike zone. Can't stay off it.
I just throw it every time until you hit it. The rest of the AB.
You see where Plawecki is setting up. The glove is not even in the strike zone. His right foot in the left-handed batter's box.
0-2 from Harvey, and Puig fouls it back.
He made a mistake. I think he got away with the shadows, helped him on that one. Is this a ball Puig is on?
Saw Plawecki's glove come back a little. Definitely wanted that off the plate if you're going to miss.
I don't even play around with the fastball.
Slider?
He's a guy who looks for a heater and adjusts to a breaking ball. I'm throwing him up. Just sit on the outside and throw him 3 more sliders if you want to. They're going to come back in with a heater, it looks like.
Puig down on strikes.
Interesting. I wonder if this is called on the pitch or on the check swing. Look at that ball disappear from light to dark. There's a look at the shadows. When you have the pitcher standing in the light and the ball's going to come into the dark surface, the Dark Knight gets a chance to rise. Like that kid.
I know the third base umpire likes it, Dan Bellino. He wears a Batman T-shirt underneath his uniform.
Is that right? Oh, my goodness.
With the Dark Knight, Matt Harvey on the mound for the Mets.
You think the Dodgers know that?
I don't know. Webby's killing me, though. He didn't like it. He's all over me. My guy.
Our director, Bill Webb, runner goes, and the pitch is fouled off to the left side. 0-2 on Ethier.
Paying no attention to Grandal a couple different times. He almost ran when Puig was up, and right here, he gets a running start once again. A lot of times, if you're a catcher and nobody expects you to run, you can probably do this 10 times a year and pick up 10 easy bags. See the shadows here? The other thing you forget, too, is the defender, the first baseman, can't see the ball either. So he's saying don't throw over. I used to think about that as a base runner. It's like, I can't see. There's no way this guy over here holding the guy can see. They're not going to throw over.
Left field, a base hit for Ethier. Bobbled by the left fielder Siciliani. Grandal to second, so the Dodgers with 2 on, 2 out here in the 5th.
Third baseman.
You know, it's amazing. You saw that look of Harvey's looking out in the outfield. He's not looking at his outfielder. He's looking at the scoreboard for the replay so you can see where that pitch is executed at. You know, so we always think, oh, man, you see up there in left field, you can see the replay board, the big screen up there. After each play, a base hit or something like that, they turn around looking at that up there in left field above the grandstands. And he's saying, did I miss my spot? What happened? He didn't have to go down the tunnel. It's right there for him to make an in-game adjustment. It's pretty cool.
First pitch to Callaspo, missing inside, ball 1. As we hit 9 p.m. in the East, 6 o'clock here in Los Angeles. Dodgers with a 2-0 lead on the Mets, who won the series opener last night by a 2-1 score. Dodgers still 0 with runners in scoring position in the 2 games. 0 for 11. They have runners on first and second with 2 outs. And Alberto Callaspo at the plate, starting at third today for the ex-Met. Justin Turner has had an outstanding season for the Dodgers, has the day off today. And Callaspo throws this one into the right field corner. 1 run scores. Ethier holds at third. It's an RBI for Callaspo, his 11th of the season. The Dodgers now lead 3-0.
Looks like he's getting a little tired. That's his 87th pitch. He's clearly not going to get through this. But again, it looks like a changeup. You know, that's not as good fastball as a fastball.
Well, you saw how far the glove of Milwaukee had to move. The dam finally burst. Matt Harvey, you saw those 87 pitches. Many of those, most of those have been stress pitches. Pitching all day like it's the 405 freeway out here. Traffic everywhere on the bases. He just wasn't able to execute one more pitch that he needed to make.
You saw Justin Turner pointing to Callaspo like, you got to be at second. You do. That ball's hitting to the corner. Granderson did a nice job cutting it off, but you got to remember, when you got 2 base runners in front of you, they're giving you second base. Their throw is coming up so Ethier doesn't score from first on that ball. They're giving him second.
And instead, Callaspo held at first. Here's Jimmy Rollins. A little run back in the second inning, grounded out of the 4th.
They're just trying to get through this inning with Harvey. Maybe get him a breather, get him back against the ropes and give him some water, and hopefully he can come back out. But he may not make it through this inning. And that might be the end of the game. He's at 88 pitches already.
He's making his 16th start. Alex Torres, the left-hander, up in the Mets pen. Remember, the Mets going with the 6-man rotation. So Harvey pitching with an extra day's rest. following the recall of Steven Matz, who will start tomorrow.
And the reviews have been mixed. At first he struggled, he didn't like it, then he pitched really well. I'm curious what his reaction will be after today's game.
Well, the bullpen was empty until this pitch to Kayaspo. I want you to watch the glove of Plawecki where he sets up and where it has to travel. When you miss your spot by that much, I don't care what the velocity says, the command is leaving him. Sign of fatigue.
3-0 Rollins in for a called strike, now 3-1. Harvey last pitched on Saturday at home against Cincinnati. Coming into the game, had allowed only one earned run in his last 19 and 2/3 innings. Rollins started down towards first. The count is full.
Well, this is a ball that's that ball's in. He missed it. You see how close Jimmy is to the plate, but you see where that ball's caught off the inside. I think they missed that pitch right there.
Off pitch, Harvey missing inside. Bases loaded yet again.
You know, I got to go back too as we see Dan Wortham come out again. Have another conversation to Kayaspo. Maybe he doesn't go to second base because he wants Jimmy Rollins to have an opportunity to swing instead of the pitcher following Rollins with an open base at first.
Well, coming up tomorrow, the Jockey Club returns on Fox Sports 1 with the United Nations from beautiful Monmouth Park, New Jersey. Coverage begins on Fox Sports 1 tomorrow, 4:30 Eastern. That's the 5th walk issued by Harvey, and that matches his career high in 52 starts. He walked 5 back in August of 2012. His rookie season in Atlanta, 5 walks today. And he is not yet out of the 5th inning.
Good trip to the mound. Slow him down. Give him a breath. The only reason he's in the game is the pitcher is up, but it's a good hitting pitcher.
Who had a base hit in the last inning.
Yeah, but I still want to face Greinke in this situation than Jimmy Rollins even. You know, you look at the walks, and it's going to say 5 in the scorebook, but he's navigated with those walks. He's been able to get a couple times, get out of it because he walked the hitter to get to the out that he wanted. I think this is the out he wants in the inning.
Dodgers loaded the bases in the 2nd inning, in the 3rd, and again here in the 5th.
And I believe this is it. They had Torres up, the lefty, and you see Jock Peterson on the on-deck circle. This has got to be it for Mr. Harvey, I would believe.
This will be his 27th pitch of the inning, 96th in the game. And it's in for a called strike, 2-1 on Greinke. Dodgers have sent 8 men to the plate here in the 5th inning. They've scored 2 runs on 4 hits and a walk.
Boy, you just don't see Matt Harvey from any pitches like that.
He's just gutting it out right now.
That was a ball the minute he left it left his fingers to the pitcher where he has to throw a strike.
Well, 3-1 to Greinke, full count.
The hat's flying off. Zach trying to just blow this game out the water right here.
Look at that, he just wanted to show off his show hair right there.
Well, it's usually Hanley Ramirez with the helmet flying off, right?
Runners on the move, payoff pitch, and Greinke fouls it back.
You know what was interesting is the runner at second base doesn't move because a lot of times you like to let this guy see the pitch the whole way. You saw Jimmy Rollins take off, Kayaspo holding a little longer. That's so you don't get all that movement for the hitter. You're actually sitting still and letting him be able to see the pitch the whole way.
Again, the runners go. Greinke gets the bat on it. Right center. So the Dodgers score 2 in the inning, but they strand 3. 15th of the season off the bat of Adrian Gonzalez. 3-0 Dodgers. We hope you're enjoying this July 4th holiday. We certainly are, from Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles. 3-0 lead for the Dodgers. No runs, 4 hits for the Mets, 3 runs on 7 hits for the Dodgers. Daniel Murphy leading off for the Mets against Zach Greinke, who's now gone 25 2/3 innings without allowing an earned run. Murphy 0 for 2 today.
Yeah, 4th of July was always a great day to play games. You knew it was going to be packed crowds. Whether it was the minor leagues or the big leagues, you knew you were going to get great draws.
Murphy right field. Here's Puig. One away. As we take a look at the career of Zach Greinke, drafted 6th overall by the Royals back in 2002 out of high school. Cy Young Award winner in 2009. Then traded a couple of times to the Brewers in 2010, to the Angels in 2012. And a terrific run with the Dodgers. Record of 38-14. Represented the Dodgers in last year's All-Star game. His second trip to the Midsummer Classic, as Lucas Duda takes a called strike.
And this will be an interesting year for Zach, because he's got an opt-out.
Yes, he does.
I don't think he's not going to exercise it.
And there is a lot of money out there for him. But this is a beautiful place for anybody to play, Dodger Stadium. See Torres throwing again. But especially for Zach Greinke. 21-5 in this ballpark.
How about this, guys? Kershaw and Greinke have started back-to-back games for the Dodgers 64 times. Only 3 times have the Dodgers lost both games.
What a weapon.
Yeah, they're talking about breaking them up, too. It's like breaking up the Beatles.
Duda down on strikes. 4th K for Greinke, and for more on the Dodgers starter, down to Ken Rosenthal.
Well, guys, Greinke has that expansive repertoire, that inventive style. He already has adjusted to diminished velocity from earlier in his career. He basically is the type of pitcher who ages well. Sort of reminds me of Mike Mussina, who was with the Yankees when Don Mattingly was a coach there. We asked Mattingly about that. He agreed with the analogy, and it's all relevant with the opt-out. Greinke will be 32 next season. That's relatively older for a free agent pitcher, but he's the kind of guy that perhaps you could gamble on with more certainty than others.
Well, you got to look at all the contracts that are in the game today and how the money is growing. He's sitting on a team with a pitcher making $210 million, and you just saw what Scherzer was able to get in the free agent market. And you go compare anything that he's done. If you look at it, just the annual, yearly money that he will make, you don't even have to run it out 10 years if you don't want to. That's fine. 5 years. You go $25 million or so a year. That's not a bad paycheck.
So you don't think he'll do that job in the front office?
He's going to own the team. There's a lot of clubs, though, that need a frontline starter. And the Dodgers are going to be in a bidding war to keep this guy's services. It will get real interesting for that man right there, Stan Kasten, as to what they're going to do with Mr. Greinke.
Left field off the bat of Flores. Ethier makes the catch, a 1-2-3 6th as Greinke's shutout streak continues. Is sponsored by the Dodge Brothers. 100 years later, their spirit lives on. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Left-hander Alex Torres makes his 33rd appearance of the season for the Mets on a relief of Matt Harvey, who pitched 5 innings, allowed 3 runs on 7 hits. An uncharacteristic 5 walks, matching his career high, 4 strikeouts. Dodgers loaded the bases in 3 of the 5 innings against Harvey. Jock Peterson leads off, the only Dodger who did not bat in the 5th inning. Peterson 0 for 2 with a walk today. play by Torres. And Peterson is retired.
You see the hat he's wearing right there. That's the protective gear that allows him to hang around a little longer, maybe. This is a beautiful play. Backhand. Look, watch him look it in, though. That's not just I got lucky. That was a planned little pick right there.
You think he saw that in the glove?
Yeah. He got the glove in the right spot. He put it in the right spot. He put it in the right spot.
That he did. I'll give him credit for that. And the ball found the glove.
Yes, I'll concede to that.
If Howie Rose were calling the game today, he would say, put a circle around that one. The great defensive play by Torres, and we send our best to the Mets broadcaster on the radio side, one of the best in the business, who fell ill during the team flight out west on Thursday, but he's doing great and expects to return to the Mets booth when they return home on Friday.
All our best to Howie. Great guy, and I don't know anybody who knows Mets baseball and Mets history better than Howie Rose.
I don't know anybody who's come across him and doesn't like him.
Absolutely.
I mean, he's an amazing guy. Howie, I know you're probably watching the game or listening. And best to you. Get better, buddy.
Well, Gary Cohen probably gives him a run for his money as far as the trivia thing. In fact, they recently teamed up on a Mets trivia show against a couple of longtime Mets fans.
Wow.
Who won? How'd they do?
But you ask Howie or Gary a question regarding the Mets and their history since 1962, and it will be answered.
Well, I'm going to give you a piece of trivia. I don't know if Howie knows this.
Uh-oh.
It's meaningless, but you can impress your friends at your next barbecue. Matt Harvey has never won a game in California. It's his sixth start here. He has a 4.89 ERA in California in 6 starts.
Wow.
With no wins, 3 losses so far.
He better stay out east.
Up the middle. Torres able to make the play that time, but the second baseman Flores does.
See, Tom?
I did tell you it was meaningless.
See him throw the backhand in there again, though?
Number 23, Adrian Gonzalez.
All right, this is the one, StatCast behind the back. Yeah, he looked that in. Beautiful. That ball's coming back at him at 94 miles an hour. Now let's look at this one. He's got to throw the glove in the same place. Oh, he was a little sheepish on that one. He didn't want to throw that thing out there too much. Hey, all I wanted to do today was go into the clubhouse and put that hat of his on.
Did you do it?
No, I couldn't find it. That's hard to miss.
Hard to miss.
You must keep it under lock and key.
I'm telling you. Remember Mr. Magoo? Mr. Gazoo?
The great Gazoo.
I tell you what, I love the protective gear and the thought of it, but they got to make that look a little better. They just do. I'm just being honest.
I don't think Alex cares what it looks like.
No,
I mean,
not at all. He's the only guy I've seen wearing it. He's comfortable with it.
All started back when he was in Tampa when one of his teammates, Alex Cobb, got hit by a line drive in the head.
That'll get you to throw it on. You see that. It looks like his head's going to tilt over, though. It just doesn't even look natural.
Torres has retired the first 2 Dodgers in the inning on a couple of fine defensive plays, one by Torres and the other by Flores. 0-2 to Gonzalez. By the way, we mentioned Harvey's 5 walks, 4 strikeouts. It's only the second time in his career, and I'm sure Howie Rose and Gary Cohen would remember this game. Only the second time he has allowed more walks in a game than strikeouts. And the only other time was that same game, August 2012, when he walked 5 Atlanta Braves and struck out 3 that day. Twice in 52 starts.
He worked really, really hard today. Game still within reach at 3-0. Well, of course, the way the Mets have been struggling to score runs, it seems like 30. I get that, but could have been much worse.
No wonder he's wearing that hat. And he falls back at it. My goodness.
It is a 1-2-3 for Torres. Baseball Night in America will return from Los Angeles after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. That nipped off his glove. Darryl Siciliani leads off for the Mets. Zach Greinke's shutout streak is now at 26 2/3 innings, and the Mets have scored 3 runs, guys, in their last 44 innings.
They're on one of these streaks right now. They're so base to base, they're going to have to do something to shake this offense up. You throw him a ball inside, though, he can put a charge in one. He tried.
Well, again tomorrow, the FIFA Women's World Cup final. It's a rematch. Alex Morgan and Team USA. Let's hear it, Harold.
USA.
U.S. takes on defending champion Japan. Coverage begins tomorrow, 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific, right here on Fox and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
I tell you, man, new young stars showing up. We talked about youngsters in baseball. There's a lot of new young players on that U.S. team in soccer, too.
Absolutely. As Siciliani flies out to Puig in right. And we've talked about
number 11,
the Mets' offensive struggles, last in the league in batting average. 21 times this season they've scored 1 run or fewer. That's the most in baseball. They've been held to 2 runs or less in 14 of their last 16 games. Amazingly, they've won 6 of those games. Here's Tejada. He is 0 for 2. And their manager, Terry Collins, after the loss to the Cubs on Thursday, they were swept at home by Chicago. Here's what he said. We've got to lighten up and have some fun. We're not having any fun right now. It's all about winning, but you've got to enjoy coming to the park. As Tejada rounds out to the second baseman, Kendrick, for out number 2.
Yeah, I've been on teams like that when you've gone through this stretch, and I've had managers say, hey, no batting practice today. Bus at 5, show up, go play. Remind guys that it is a game. You got to have fun enjoying it. And I know the competition and everybody wants to put up their numbers and everything else, but at the end of the day, it is a game. And sometimes you have to be reminded of that, just kind of break things up. Or you come out extra work for everybody. You try it all. And I'm sure they've done everything you can try. You just got to keep working.
Milwaukee rounds out to the third baseman, Callaspo. It's a 6-pitch 7th for Zach Greinke. Budweiser, make a plan to make it home. And by the Dodge Brothers, 100 years later, their spirit lives on. He's coming at you, Harold.
Yes, he is. Coming in fast, too.
Is that what you were doing this morning, Kenny? That's where you were.
You caught me, huh?
Yep.
7th inning stretch time here at Dodger Stadium with the Dodgers leading the Mets 3-0. And tomorrow on ESPN, it's the Esurance All-Star Selection Show as the starters for both teams will be announced before the reserves are announced on Monday. Then July 13th, it's the Home Run Derby. Sponsored by Gillette, presented by Head & Shoulders, and all leads up to the Midsummer Classic, Tuesday, July 14th, 7 Eastern, right here on Fox. Alex Torres returns for his second inning of relief. Please join Major League Baseball in supporting veterans who have sacrificed so much to protect our freedoms. Log on to welcomebackveterans.org to see how you can help. And Harold, you mentioned how much fun you always had playing on the 4th of July. Some of baseball's greatest moments have come on this date. Lou Gehrig Appreciation Day at Yankee Stadium back on 1939. His luckiest man speech was shown on the scoreboard here at Dodger Stadium prior to the game. How about the Dave Righetti no-hitter against the Red Sox in 1983?
It's almost like a Yankee holiday. You know, you think about George Steinbrenner's birthday.
Don't forget Peter Angelos.
Yes, that's true. He'll let you know, and if not, too. But, you know, we played a game in Cleveland one year. 72,000 people at the old Mistake by the lake. The next day we had like 5,000. That's why I like 4th of July. You know you're going to get a big crowd.
I was actually in the stands for Righetti's no-hitter, and I got a kick out of Don Mattingly telling the story about what he remembered. They were at a concert the night before, a Willie Nelson concert. Righetti, being the starting pitcher, had to be on his best behavior.
Well, it sounds like most of the team was at the
Having
concert.
a good time.
Yeah.
Over at the Meadowlands, but Righetti left earlier than everyone else. The next day, starter and Don Mattingly played in that game.
I wonder how he did. We got to check the
0 for 4.
Oh, did he?
I was not going to bring that up to Don. Also, 30 years ago today, the Mets involved in a wacky game down in Atlanta. 19 innings, fireworks at 4 a.m. following the conclusion of the game. And how about Tom Seaver back in 1972 for the Mets? Took a no-hitter into the 9th inning against the Padres at Shea Stadium on the 4th of July.
Wow. That's something.
I mean, really, if you just flew in here from another continent, didn't know anything about baseball, I mean, is this America or what? Dodger Stadium, 4th of July, beautiful weather, and a great pitcher's duel.
And I like what baseball has done, too, with all the red, white, and blue in the uniforms. You know, they did it for Canada Day the other day up in Toronto, and then here today you see the embroidering on the Dodgers jersey on Zach Greinke. Looks like he's coming back for more. Still got the arm wrapped up. Having a little conversation with Rick Honeycutt, who he's going to be facing. Grandal finally breaks on the board with a knock from the right side.
Rolls to the wall in right center. So Grandal with his second hit of the game. He's on base for the 3rd time.
Number 66, Yasiel Puig.
I think he's asking last at bat what that pitch was when he got called out. How did the umpire see it? Remember he got called out on strike? And fastball in? Oh, yeah. So he was it in? Was it check swing? Because I was confused myself. Maybe that's what he's asking the umpire right there. That's what I would do if I was him.
Yasiel Puig struck out his last time up. Doubled back in the 2nd inning, walked in the 3rd. Dodgers with a 3-0 lead on the Mets.
Boy, and it feels like it's 10-0. Hey, it is tough when your offense is going through this kind of a struggle.
Center field off the bat of Puig. Laguerre's back on the track, and he makes the catch. Up against the wall for out number 1.
You know, it was amazing. I was watching Grandal at second. The players that tell you how the ball's carried. That ball off the bat looked like it was going to be in the seats, no problem. And he was tagging up on this. He read it easy. The ball's hit. He went right back, tag up. And I know that's probably where you want to sit, even though if he misses it, you're going to be able to get all the way around. But he told me a lot just watching him run the bases, how that ball was going to carry. Must be some mist tonight, Ken. Don't eat here. Yeah.
Well, and I wonder if a run here at all changes the equation for Zach Greinke staying in this game. Season high pitches 111. Sitting at 100 right now.
Well, they don't have anybody up in the pen yet, but they can get them up quick in a hurry. And a lot of those relievers takes a few tosses, and then you're going to get 8 warm-ups anyway when you come in. So it could change as it blows out. But there's the Mets bullpen. No activity over there either. I think Zach just likes to play. It's my day. It's my 5th day. It's my chance. I don't want to come out yet.
Well, a great example, too, of what Don Mattingly told us before the game. He has a high pitch count early. He goes into a different mode. Conserve pitches. Guy who threw 23 pitches in the first inning is still in this game after 7. Last inning with 6 sure helped.
Well, we always hear people talk about have a plan. It usually applies to the hitter when he goes to the plate. Here's how I'm going to attack this pitcher. But the pitchers, I'm telling you, when Clayton Kershaw said both the pitchers have a high count, and he knew exactly what he was talking about. And he said, well, you like to get 15 an inning. He's already figured out how he's going to get through a game. And I think that's really wise with all pitchers. Clearly the Dodgers staff understands what they've got to do. And they start looking at it to try to be economical to get through innings. That's what young guys like Syndergaard and everybody else are going to have to learn along the way. Rick Honeycutt right there, who you're looking at, has done a nice job of educating this veteran group of pitchers with the Dodgers. But I thought that was so telling to the game that we played today.
Now the 2-2 to Andre Ethier. Torres missing away, and the count is full.
What's he going to throw? I think it goes slider.
Blowing away, ball 4, so Ethier will head down to first.
Golly. They like to visit the mound, huh?
Been a busy afternoon and evening for Dan Warthen. Carlos Torres up and throwing in the Mets pen. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on more than 400 devices with MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking widget, and more. Every night on every device. Visit MLB.TV for details.
Interesting at bat here. Torres actually has reverse splits, better against right-handers than he is against lefties. And Callaspo from the right side, not too good. 3 for 29 this year, 103.
Callaspo at the plate with first and third, only 1 out. He drove in a run back in the 5th inning, extending the Dodgers lead to 3-0. Murphy in on the grass at third, as Callaspo rips one foul down the left field line, strike 1.
Generally, when you're struggling as a switch hitter from one side of the plate, you're going to jump that one pitch you get. That might have been it. And now they start getting a little softer on you. If he puts the ball on the ground, they can catch it. This is a double play ball. He doesn't run very well.
That starter, Matt Harvey, went 5 innings, allowed 3 runs on 7 hits. Second inning of relief for Alex Torres.
Andre Ethier. See Garcia, Yimi Garcia getting up in the pen. Ethier showing a lot of respect for the pickoff move of Torres. Very tight lead over at first base.
And I think with Garcia warming up the way he is, we might have changed the fortunes of Greinke in this game.
A 1-1 from Torres.
No changeup. Got him out in front. You always come back in fair. In case that ball hits you, go foul. In case that ball hits you, want to come down the line, foul. If it hits you, it's a dead ball, but it's foul territory.
Two balls, 2 strikes.
You can tell they're grinding down there, man. They're working. They're trying to figure out situations. They're trying to do anything to get out of this inning. Game came to a halt. Mound visit. Torres taking a lot of time in between pitches.
And looks uncertain about what to throw. His best pitch is his cutter. Just bounced the curveball there. I think he's got to go back to a cutter here.
And this is when you put the 20-second clock in the game. I'm all for it. Deliver a pitch in 20 seconds. Plenty of time.
Payoff pitch to Callaspo. Another foul.
He did throw the cutter, but Callaspo, give him credit, battling up there. Gets himself to another pitch.
Grandal, the runner on third. Ethier over at first. Goes to Callaspo. Up the middle, and it's off the glove of Tejada. Coming home to score is Grandal. Dodgers now lead 4-0.
Well, this play's created because it's a 3-2 count. Now all of a sudden, Ethier is going to be on the move. This is one of those plays where Flores, because of the position he would start off in, he tried to go all the way across, and just an ugly play.
It's a base hit for Callaspo. And now Terry Collins will make a double switch with Michael Kadire heading out to left field. Back in a moment. Knee issue has entered the game in left field as the Mets make a double switch. He will bat in the 8th spot. And the third Mets pitcher of the game is the 32-year-old right-hander Carlos Torres, who comes on with 1 out, bottom of the 7th inning. Runners on 1st and 3rd. 1 run in. Dodgers with a 4-0 lead. Jimmy Rollins at the plate. Ethier takes his lead off 3rd. Callaspo over at 1st. Callaspo with the base hit up the middle off the glove of the second baseman Wilmer Flores. And there's the ex-Met Justin Turner, who has come out into the on-deck circle to bat for Dodgers starter Zack Greinke.
I'm not sure if Alex Torres was upset about the play not being made or his pitch not executing it well enough, but watch the way he finishes. He's in no position to field this ground ball. Should be an easier play for the pitcher than it would have been for the second baseman crossing to the other side. But because of the way he finishes, he's not in position. You want to see how to do it the right way? Well, Zack Greinke, picture perfect. Watch when he lands his finish. You're an infielder when you let the ball go. Look at him. The glove is in front of him, square to the plate. That's the way you help yourself.
Hey, don't be so mad.
Well, it reminds me of Greg Maddux. There was nobody better. I mean, he was so freakishly good. He actually changed the way that he followed through, anticipating whether the ball would be hit to his right or left. Because he never missed location. He knew where the pitch was going all the time.
Yeah. No, and it looked like watching Greinke, even in a bunt situation early in the game, he was able to pop off the mound, do that. He lands at a great point, no doubt about it.
Well, Howard, you called it. He has so much fun playing the game. That's why I think this time, if he does opt out, like he did last time, preference is National League. He wants to hit. He wants to run the bases.
There's a lot of clubs he could drop in on and make them relevant real quick.
Absolutely. The scoreless streak now at 27 2/3 innings. 4 consecutive starts without allowing a run.
And I'm not saying he doesn't fit perfect right here in L.A. I mean,
here's Kadire in left.
It always happens, doesn't it? Look at that throw. Nice.
So here's Justin Turner to pinch hit for Zack Greinke. Seven scoreless innings.
Well, he was just tremendous. I mean, you don't go on a scoreless streak unless you have an arsenal of pitches like he does. Able to throw all 4 of them for strikes, fields his own position, got a base hit. You know, he's done everything you can ask of him. And I thought, don't get caught up in 4 strikeouts or 15 strikeouts. He pitched the game. And, Tom, I thought your point of him being able to navigate through the game without a high pitch count to get him where he needed to get to was the difference.
Yeah, that and that power changeup. As I said, Zach now throws it as hard as he can. It really is counterintuitive that the gap between his changeup and his fastball has narrowed over the years. We talk all the time about having a big difference between the two. It's the opposite for him.
0-2 on Turner, having an outstanding season, batting .314. First and third, 2 outs. Bottom of the 7th inning. From Torres, a called strike 3. So Turner down on strikes to end the inning. Dodgers strand 2, but they add a run behind 7 shutout innings from Greinke. Dodgers lead 4-0. July, 24-year-old right-hander Emi Garcia is the new Dodgers pitcher after their starter Zach Greinke went 7, did not allow a run, extends his shutout streak to 27 2/3. Michael Kadire will bat for the first time today. Struck out in his only at bat last night. He's been bothered by that left knee issue. Terry Collins did tell us before the game that Kadire expected to start tomorrow's game in the series finale. Kadire batting just .242 in his first season as a Met, 6 for his last 49, and he takes a called strike, 0-1.
Well, that to me is a health issue. This guy's a great hitter. He just hasn't been healthy. You know, you get him injured, you lose David Wright, and all of a sudden this offense turns into what we're seeing every day. When you spend the money in the offseason like they did to get Kadire and you get Granderson, a little bit the Mets are spending right now, you got to get that infusion in the offense back, and it just haven't happened to them right here, Kenny.
231 team batting average. Next to last in all of baseball. 21st with runners in scoring position. 29th in runs per game. They've been shut out 9 times. They're getting shut out today. They've already lost 4 games by a 1-0 score, most in baseball. They scored only 3 runs in the last 45 innings as Kadire strikes out. And for more on the Mets' struggles and their manager Terry Collins, downstairs to Ken.
Well, Kenny, yesterday Sandy Alderson, the Mets GM, said it would be grossly unfair to blame Collins for the offensive difficulties the Mets are having, and he added that there is no consideration being given to changing managers. But keep in mind, Collins does not have a contract beyond this year. Alderson thought about firing him last season. The upcoming schedule is really difficult, so there is no certainty here for Terry Collins, and he knows it. We'll just see what happens in the days ahead.
It's never a good situation. Manager in the last year of a deal, you saw it happen to Bud Black in San Diego. Ken made an important point there about the schedule. Have you looked at the Mets schedule for this month? My goodness, it's a tough schedule when you're going well. Filled with first place teams in the league. Nationals, Cardinals, Dodgers.
Lagares with a base hit up the middle into center field. Mets head to San Francisco following the game tomorrow. And here is a look at what they will face, guys, over the next month.
Well, by winning percentage, it's the toughest schedule in baseball in the month of July.
Now, if the Mets can get through this stretch, you look at their August and September schedule, they have 10 games remaining with the Phillies, who are in last place in the National League East. 9 games with the Marlins and 7 with the Rockies, who are in last place in the West.
Well, it's a tough haul, but I still contend I think they might be a club that's everybody's kind of overshot the expectations. They're very young, and young guys are going to go through the league trying to figure out what they can or can't do. Plus, you'll find out, can they play or can't they? And this is going to be a stretch where the Mets find out what they have.
Game over 500 at the moment. Adam Liberatore out of the Dodgers pen. On in relief for the Dodgers after Jimmy Garcia faced 2 hitters. He struck out Kadire and then allowed a base hit off the bat of Lagares. So here's Curtis Granderson, who is 1 for 3. Singled back in the first inning. Top of the 8th, Dodgers with a 4-0 lead. Mets no runs on 5 hits. Dodgers 4 runs on 9 base hits.
And this might have been the plan for Donnie all along. Maybe give Greinke first guy. If he gets in any trouble, he was going to come get him. He made the switch, obviously, before Greinke got out there because he got 2 lefties. So maybe he was going to be going here to get the 2 lefties anyway. But I was a little surprised he didn't leave him in there a little long.
Line drive caught by Kendrick for out number 2.
He being the reliever that just came in the game.
Yeah, you see this is hit right on the nose. Terry Collins played this game to win early, stacking his 3 left-handed hitters, I think his best hitters, Granderson, Murphy, Duda, against the righty Greinke. The problem is, behind makes it easy for Don Mattingly. 3 straight lefties, in comes your power left-handed reliever.
Tom, and there's your another line drive at somebody for the Mets, hitting the ball hard off the bat.
Yeah, I don't think the Mets fans want to hear about exit velocities, though. They want to hear about runs. They'll take bloops the way they won a game last night.
But I just go back to, again, when when you're base to base and you're looking for home runs, you're easy to defend. You just are. I don't have to worry about a bunt. I can play deeper. You're not going to hit and run. I'm not worried about vacating holes. So now you're easier to defend. They're not versatile enough. They remind me a lot of the Seattle Mariners when the Mariners go into a skid. They're base to base, and they shouldn't be. I think the Mets have athletes enough where you can get them moving a little bit. Now, Terry may not have been able to have those options to get it done, but they're too base to base for the athletes that they have.
Well, Liberatore has given Don Mattingly a different kind of look, hasn't had in past years here, a power left-hander. Paco Rodriguez out with an elbow injury, more of a soft-tossing finesse lefty. Same with J.P. Howell. Liberatore actually usually gets it up there in mid-90s, 94, 95, down a little bit today.
Murphy with a base hit into left field. Lagares to second. So the Mets with 2 on, 2 out here in the 8th.
That joker can hit, man. Murphy is some kind of hitter. Always has been. But, man, that's a bat they miss in this stretch. I'm telling you, he's got to be in the lineup. That's why he continues to hang around the big leagues.
How about this, guys? The last team to score 2 runs or fewer 14 times in a 16-game stretch, the 61 Phillies.
Oh, wait, man. Ouch. I thought we were just piling on, but I guess not. I mean, goodness gracious.
Lucas Duda at the plate. Duda 0 for 3 today. Local product out of Riverside, California. Played his college ball at USC. The Mets in their last 11 games prior to this one scored more than 2 runs only once. That was on Sunday when they scored 7 against the Reds. And their starting pitcher in his major league debut, Steven Matz, drove in 4 of the 7.
Yeah, they're going through it. I feel bad for them because it is so frustrating. But you always think, as bad as this been, will they turn around and get just as hot?
Well, you start with a great foundation with that young pitching, but you see Flores right there. I talked about that bagel lineup. When you have Flores as your 4-hitter, Siciliano as your 5, and Tejada as your 6, they're miscast. They're just in roles they shouldn't be in. And everybody wants the cavalry to come in and some big-name superstar like Troy Tulowitzki. I think they need some relief for some of these younger players to protect them in platoon situations. Lagares in center field needs a left-handed complement. Flores needs a left-handed complement. You need a better bench.
Well, and some of these guys are just not ready. to be in the big leagues. Plain and simple.
Duda sends this one to deep center field. Peterson back, and it's off the wall. Lagares scores. Holding at third is Murphy. The Mets are on the board. It's now 4-1 Dodgers, and the Mets have runners on second and third following their third base hit in the inning.
Loud sound off that bat right there. But again, this is the little things. That ball earlier when they were not struggling is out of the ballpark. This time it's off the wall. You know? Just,
Little dude is going to take that. One thing he's done really well this year, improve against left-handed pitching. Maybe that's something that can get him back on track.
Beautiful swing. Donnie's just wearing it out, huh?
Another pitching change. As Don Mattingly heads back out to the mound. Mets with the potential tying run at the plate. And Pedro Baez coming in from the Dodgers pen.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. Now pitching for the Dodgers, number 52.
.com. Third pitcher of the inning for the Dodgers, 27-year-old right-hander Pedro Baez, making his 20th appearance of the season. Mets with a run on 3 hits in the inning. They have runners on second and third with 2 outs, trailing the Dodgers 4-1.
Baez with a premier power arm. You'll see upper 90s fastball power slider, but with Flores, I don't care if it's 98 inside. He can turn on anything. Baez needs to work away from the plate.
Well, that's where the Mets are looking for a big ball. You know, I go back to even the times when Harvey was in a little bit of a jam, how he was able to keep this game close and keep them within striking distance. You always play. That's what I found interesting. The Dodgers were up 4-0. That ball Jimmy Rollins hit, they didn't challenge with Ethier, even though Cardire made a good throw. That would have made it 5-0. You always play for that 5th run so a grand slam doesn't beat you. Or in this case, 3-run homer ties you.
So here's Flores, who has 2 hits today. He had 3 last night, so 5 hits in the series. Mets have gone 256 plate appearances without a home run since Curtis Granderson went deep against the Reds last Saturday. Second and third, 2 outs, and the first pitch from Flores is a base hit into left field. So it's now a 4-2 game as Duda holds at third.
Wow.
Baez did go away, just didn't get away enough. Nice piece of hitting. First pitch hitting. Flores, you see where Grandal is set up. Runs back over the plate. Short, compact swing.
Yeah, and it's interesting on the hold here with Duda. I know Tim Tuffel's sitting here going, we're not scoring, but Ethier's got the ball 2 steps before he gets to the bag. By the time he gets right to this point right here, Ethier's already got the ball. And Tuffle's actually waving him.
Duda stopped himself, and I'm with him. I know traditionally 2 outs, you want to be super aggressive, but you're running yourself.
Yeah, but it looked like the right hand was holding him up and the left hand was waving him.
Multiple choice?
I'm telling you.
Better be. So now John Mayberry Jr. will pinch hit for Carlos Torres. Mets had 4 base hits against Greinke over the first 7 innings. They have 4 hits this inning against 3 Dodger pitchers. Bobby Parnell in the Mets pen. So the Mets with 2 runs on 4 hits here in the 8th. Runners on the corners, 2 outs.
We got a game, boys.
Mayberry just 2 for 24 as a pinch hitter this season. First pitch from Baez. Ball 1.
I thought this guy was going to get a chance to play more. If not here, but I mean in his career. I know Philly made him a utility guy, playing some outfield, some first base, but he never has had a chance to develop. I'd be curious what he could do over a full season.
Mets with 3 consecutive 2-out base hits as Mayberry fouls it off back behind third.
Well, the knock has been, is he an everyday player? Specialty, hitting left-handed pitching. In a big spot right here against the hard-throwing right-hander.
Yeah, but they kind of made him that. I mean, in Philly, I know you had Ryan Howard playing first base, so they immediately said, let's put him in the outfield and play him around. It's one of those guys, if you'd have left him alone in AAA and said, okay, go hit 30 homers this year, let's see what you can do for a full season, the value would have been there, different. I think he'd be viewed differently, too. This is a big kid.
One ball, 2 strike count. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. Mets have scored 2 runs in the inning after they were shut out through 7 by Zach Greinke, who threw 100 pitches. Mayberry shoots it into center. Peterson under it. And the inning comes to an end. Mets score 2 runs on 4 hits. We head to the bottom of the 8th. 4-2 Dodgers. Bottom of the 8th inning. Dodgers lead the Mets 4-2. Time for tonight's Game Changer Profile, brought to you by T-Mobile, official sponsor of Game Changers. Peterson leads all Major League rookies in runs and home runs, second in runs batted in, fifth in hits. He's 0 for 3 with a walk tonight. And he will face the 4th Mets pitcher of the game, the left-hander Sean Gilmartin. Makes his 30th appearance. Run average under 2. Dodgers had a 4-0 lead behind Zach Greinke, who extended his shutout streak to 27 2/3 innings. Mets scoring 2 runs on 4 hits against 3 Dodger relievers in the 8th.
See, Jock Peterson uses a different bat against righties and lefties. Right-handed, he swings a 34-34. It's a big, heavy bat.
That's a heavy bat, no doubt.
I don't know what he swings against a lefty, but I do know that about the right hand.
What kind of bat did you use?
No, I switch hits, so I use different ones both ways too, but I was 33.5, 31 ounce. And then right-handed, I swung a 34-inch bat, about 32 ounces. But 34 ounces, we're getting it through the zone. That's pretty heavy stuff.
So did you have to carry around twice as many bats as non-switch hitters?
No, it's still bats.
Whose did you like the best amongst your teammates?
Edgar Martinez, I used to use his a lot from the right side.
The hits rub off?
No, he got plenty of them.
Peterson down on strikes.
I was talking to Don Mattingly about
second baseman, number
left-handed
47.
hitters and facing left-handed pitchers, young guys, because you don't see a lot of them in the minor leagues and how long that takes. He said actually his first year he platooned early, and then the Yankees were kind of out of it, and Billy Martin let him play against lefties, and here he is, said he's got all that Baltimore staff, McGregor and Flanagan and those guys, and he said he went to winter ball that winter. He goes, I got to figure out how to hit left-handers. I got to see them more. So he went directly to winter ball just so he could face more lefties.
He figured it out.
Yes, he sure did.
Now you talk about pretty swings and approaches. Howie Kendrick, in my book, can't go wrong copying him. How about this, guys? He's popped up to the infield once this year.
Sounds like Wade Boggs,
once.
right?
Jimmy Rollins popped up 42 times last year.
Keeps this one on the ground, and it gets through into center field for a base hit. Second of the game for Kendrick. One out base runner for the Dodgers. Today's telecast sponsored by Pepsi, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball. And by Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports.
Watch how level this swing is from Howie Kendrick. There's really no loop to it. This is a ball down, stays on it, finishes low. I asked him what the secret sauce was to that line drive ground ball swing of his. He said, man, it's just the way I hit.
Well, he's hit like that since he showed up with the Angels as a rookie.
I mean, he's hit only 24 balls in the air all year. Just one infield pop-up. I've always thought infield pop-ups should count like strikeouts. They don't pressure a defense. You can't advance a runner. It's as good as a strikeout for a pitcher.
Hasn't hit one in the air today in 5 at-bats. You guys were talking about Don Mattingly. He's heading to the All-Star game as a coach on Bruce Bochy's staff with the National League.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Especially when you're in your division rivalry that the Dodgers and the Yankees and the, whoever they're playing, whoever those guys
Would that be the
Dodgers and the Giants.
Some team that's won 3 World Series.
I was looking at that double play happen.
5 years.
And I got caught up. Hey, we go to the 9th.
2015 FIFA Women's World Cup Final. Team USA and Japan. Coverage begins tomorrow, 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific, right here on Fox. Streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Don't miss it. Top of the 9th from Dodger Stadium. Mets finally broke through. They scored 2 runs in the 8th after falling behind 4-0. They had scored 3 runs in 45 innings prior to the 8th. And now Ruben Tejada leads off against Pedro Baez. Tejada 0 for 3 tonight.
I had the feeling he was going to hit him. He's standing close to the plate, and the catcher is setting up inside. He should be happy he's on base.
And watch this, gets a piece of Grandal.
Yeah. I mean, that hurts.
I can hurt Grandal a lot more than it hit Tejada.
Yeah.
Well, Mattingly out to check on his catcher.
Well, it got him right on that one point on your knee that just is painful. Watch this. There's one area that you're not protected. Right here, it kicks off the elbow, right on the inside of the shin guard, almost off the metal strap, right at the top of the knee.
Yeah, you saw him set up with kind of an open stance there late in the game. Kept one knee down, a little bit exposed in that position. Caught him in the wrong spot. And by the way, no Kenley Jansen. Clearly, Don Mattingly wants to stay off of his closer. Last night threw a season-high 24 pitches.
Yeah, but if you're the Dodgers and you have that performance today from Greinke, you can't let this game slip away.
I'm with you. Mattingly has J.P. Howell throwing in the bullpen in case the lineup turns over to the left-handers. Right now, it's Baez's game.
Grandal will hang in there. A.J. Ellis is the Dodgers' other catcher.
But the margin of error, why challenge on an inside pitch there? Tejada stand on top of the plate.
Number 22.
He's hitting under 220, 250, I mean under 225, and you bust him in. When we've been talking all day, what did Greinke do? I'm going to beat you away. If you want to beat me away the other way, then you beat me the other way. It's too easy to make mistakes inside. The last thing you need to do is hit a guy who's struggling at the plate.
So Tejada on at first. Kevin Plawecki at the plate. 1 for 3, double back in the second. Here's J.P. Howell in the Dodgers pen. Mets again with the potential tying run at the plate. First pitch to Plawecki, in for a called strike, 0-1.
Now the Mets are actually set up pretty good for a rally. You know, they had the double switch, so now Michael Kadire is on the on-deck circle instead of the pitcher. So you get a chance to get a little bit of flow. Then it goes to the 9-hitter Lagares and then back to the top. So they got a chance to make a run right here and put some pressure on the Dodgers.
Mets with 2 runs on 4 hits in the 8th. A hit batsman to start the 9th. The 0-1 to Plawecki, now 1-1.
You can see with the Dodgers on the defensive side, they play a little bit deeper than a double play. You're playing outs right now. If you get a double play, great, but more importantly, get an out. And that's why they're deep. If you turn 2, the ball's hit hard to turn 2, but if not, you're going to play outs right now.
And you saw how deep Peterson is in center field. Normally plays shallow. Here, you're defending the batter, trying to keep him off second base.
Plawecki with a base hit up the middle. To second, Tejada. So the Mets have 2 on with nobody out. It's their 5th hit since the start of the 8th inning.
Well, the worm is going to turn eventually, right? All that bad offense has got to turn into some pretty good offense eventually. It's a nice piece of hitting right back up the middle.
Really impressed late in the game with these swings by the Mets hitters. We saw Flores, you saw Plawecki right there, staying short to the ball.
Five of the last 6 Met hitters have reached base.
You just want to stay away from the double play ball. That's the killer. You stay away from double play, you can continue to extend the inning out.
Cuddyer struck out in the 8th, struck out in his only plate appearance last night. First pitch, and he fouls it off. Down the right field line, 0-1.
Maybe that swing is an indication why the outfield for the Dodgers is giving half of Los Angeles County to Michael Cuddyer in left center.
And there's a big hole.
Peterson shaded over to right center. Ethier almost guarding the line. Look at the gap in left center. That's 2 runs waiting to happen if he can split the gap.
He might end up in third. He splits that gap.
Pitching coach Rick Honeycutt. His starter, Zach Greinke, through 7 scoreless innings.
Well, when you have a closer, a lockdown 9th inning guy, a manager's job is over when the closer comes in the game. All you do is watch. When you don't have him available, well, it gets nervous time.
A 1-1 from Baez. Missing inside. Ball 2. Now 2-1.
And if you're the Dodgers here, you're kind of seeing what can I get out of that bullpen. It's different than last year's pen. Where does Baez really fit? We give up some long balls. Can he be a guy right here that can shut it down for me? These are things that are going through Donnie's mind right now. They're still auditioning as they go through this whole process of the season so far.
Right field. Yasiel Puig moving to his left. One away. Tagging in at third is Tejada. So the Mets now have runners on the corners with 1 out.
I'm surprised Puig went all the way to third base with that ball. Just go to second. It was a showman play.
Yeah, everybody's going to ooh and ah on this play, but there's no reason to make this throw. Again, you're defending the runner at first base right here. If some way that ball kicks away, you've put the tying run in scoring position for no reason at all.
The one thing I will say, it was low enough for Rollins to cut. He's just got a strong arm.
So with 1 away, Juan Lagares. Single came around to score in the 8th inning. Great job by our entire crew here in Los Angeles. Our director, Bill Webb. Associate director, Chirag Devaskar. Broadcast associate, Sam Younger. Technical producer is Craig Marlowe. Technical director, Gabe Bell. Marty Aronoff crunching the numbers along with Wayne Fiddleman and Dennis D'Agostino, with the Dodgers leading the Mets 4-2. 1 out. Top of the 9th inning. Runners on the corners. Lagares at the plate. First pitch from Baez, 0-1.
Oh, back to Grandal, the same knee again. This is a rough half inning. Wants the foul tip. Let's see where this ball hits. Now the other foot.
Oh, he could not wait for this game to end.
It's going to be in the nice little ice tub afterwards.
$51,252 on hand here at Dodger Stadium. Dodgers behind Zach Greinke took a 4-0 lead. Mets with 2 in the 8th, threatening in the 9th. 1-1. Curtis Granderson waiting on deck.
40th career game for Baez. No career saves.
He may not get one here.
Barring a double play, not likely.
Two, says the first base umpire, Alfonso Marquez.
Boy, that's a huge call right here on the check swing. There's no pitch in baseball that changes an at-bat greater than the 1-1 pitch.
You know what? I actually think he went. That little last flex flipped the bat forward a little bit more. I didn't think he did live, but on the replay it looked like he did. But you're right, Tom. That changes everything.
Now Baez steps off. First and third, 1 out. Dodgers leading by 2. The 1-2 to Lagares. And Baez misses high, now 2-2.
You know, the one thing I'm seeing with Baez, we watched the hit by pitch to Tejada. I don't trust him inside to be able to dot that ball in the corner. He almost hit Lagares with the check swing. He's hit Tejada. Couldn't get in there on Kadire.
To me, he has to go with his best pitch, the four-seam fastball. Better up than down.
Two balls, 2 strikes.
Get the clock. I'm telling you, these guys take forever. I'm telling you, 20-second clock is going to be great when we implement it. I think it's going to make everybody move. There's way too much overthinking. That goes for the hitter and the pitcher.
Howard looking for a patent on the 20-second clock.
It just slows everything down. And I think for defenders, you stand too much. Way overthinking.
From Baez, deep right field, Puig back at the edge of the track, makes the catch. Tejada coming home, he scores. It's now a 1-run game. Mets down to their final out.
Well, I know the runner on first went back to tag on this, but Puig throws a cannon to second base.
You were worried he was going to throw home?
No, I knew he was going to throw to second, but I'm still in the vein of that ball right there. He's dropped too many balls. He'll do so many things. I want you halfway.
Now we'll get the lefty Howell for Granderson.
I got my catcher running back to tag up on a fly ball like that he's going back on and he has to twist and spin on. You know what I mean? If he trips, spins, drops one, I want you halfway able to get to third or second.
So here comes J.P. Howell out of the Dodgers pen. The Mets have scored 3 runs for the second time in their last 12 games, but they need at least one more. Down to their final out as Granderson will face the left-hander Howell.
Your attention, please. Now pitching for the Dodgers, number 56, J.P. Howell.
for both teams will be announced before the reserves are announced on Monday. Then on July 13th, it's the 2015 Gillette Home Run Derby presented by Head & Shoulders. It all leads up to the Midsummer Classic, July 14th, 7 Eastern, right here on Fox. 2 outs, top of the 9th inning. Dodgers lead the Mets 4-3 on this July 4th evening. Zack Greinke, 7 shutout innings. But the Dodgers go to the bullpen for the 4th time. It's J.P. Howell, 21 career saves. Does not have one this season. Each of the previous 3 Dodger relief pitchers have allowed a run.
Yeah, his last save was back in 2011. And Curtis Granderson, 4 for 11 against J.P. Howell.
That's a .364 average.
I thought you were going to say, and he got that save on a Granderson flyout or something like that.
You don't know, Tom? Come on.
Exactly.
Runner on first, 2 outs. First pitch to Granderson. Ball 1.
Long stare from J.P. Howell right there. Where's that pitch at? He wanted it. Thought it might be down a little bit. Ooh.
Yeah, it was down.
Career high 17 saves for Howell back in 2009 with the Tampa Bay Rays. Down to the inside corner, 1-1.
And that's what he does so well. He can come back and throw an off-speed pitch for a strike right here. You're in a hitter's count. He actually hangs it, but Curtis is looking for a fastball.
Granderson, strike 2.
That complaining on the first pitch got him that one.
That's bread and butter for Howell right there. The 2-seamer perfectly located. Nice job by Grandal to frame it.
Next down for their final strike. That will do it. Howell strikes out Granderson, picks up his first save of the season. Mets with 3 late runs after they were shut out over 7 innings by Zack Greinke. But they fall 1 short. Dodgers win it 4-3. Adrian Gonzalez with a solo homer in the 5th inning. His second of the series. One more look. Granderson down on strikes. So the Dodgers now 10 games above the 500 mark. Mets fall to 41 and 41. We will return to Dodger Stadium right after these messages.